and episode 11.
Fucking the 11.
11.
1-1. 1-1.
We finally broke past 10.
Yeah. And it was a good one, dude. It was a very good one.
I fucking loved it.
Our guest today is Marlo. I actually had no idea who Marlo was before this.
This was your first time meeting him.
So this was actually really dope, and it turned out fucking beautifully, dude.
It started off good and ended amazing.
Yeah, like I've noticed with these episodes that even if they start off like at a middle point,
a decent, yeah.
At the end of it, dude, it's skyrocketing of how much fucking love and enjoyment and just like everything in general. It's just
the
it's
entire
always flourishing.
vibe of it is just like just improving.
They don't fall off.
Yeah, they don't.
It's fucking great.
It's like I sit here and I just wish like 3 to 4 hours was the average for a podcast, because then like we could continue going, because it's like we have to stop ourselves, because it's like there's so much to talk about. It's so good, like you want to keep fucking going, and you're like, we have to be considered that we're recording this shit. Like so, but yeah, man, it was good.
We just get into a little bit of who Marlo is, his background.
To give an intro, like Marlo's a rapper. He's from out here, Lancaster, Palmdale area, and he has like a good amount of like experience under his belt with it. Has some associations that he's made through his time that will let
which
him
he speaks
explain.
about and catches me off guard quite a bit. But Tub knew a little bit more, but my reactions are like, huh?
Yeah,
like what?
But yeah, like impressive shit, and
we go into some mindsets here and there, and just how like handling different stuff. Like it's honestly like it's almost like we have a format sort of what we do, and then we follow it perfectly, but it's always a new experience each time.
Yeah, I agree, and I think people will like this. I think people will enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. So with that being said, we're going to start the podcast with our guest Marlo right now.
You want to just like go off of what we were already talking about?
Darth Vader and how Marlo has had nightmares.
Yes. Okay. I have had several very distinct nightmares about him.
How old were you when that shit started?
Like 13. My dad, he had all the Star Wars movies in the garage for some reason on VHS. I found them, and they were in like this gold box, and I was like, this is so cool. Like, there was like this collector's item, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, let's watch it. Put it in the VHS. I don't remember much, but I do remember Darth Vader scaring the shit out of me. Like, really bad. Like, really, really, really bad. Yeah.
And that was like the age where like, that's like middle school. That's right around when you're like trying to be cool and act cool and impress everyone. Cause in elementary school, you don't give a shit about anything other than like racing other boys and telling girls they have cooties. But then like in middle school, that's when you start having like a persona.
I thought you were saying that was middle school. I was like, we had a completely different experience.
Middle school was making jokes about the PE teachers and playing slap ass on Fridays. Like that was middle school.
Was chill. Middle school was nice, hospitable. It was okay.
Yeah.
High school. Oh man, I was lost in the first part of high school. I was like, wow, it was just like that freshman. There was no girls, there was no flirting, there was nothing, no persona. Nothing. I was like my big sister's like little brother.
Oh, so you had like an older sibling you were kind of like shadowed by.
She brought me in. You know that freshman that just hangs out with all the seniors, and then like the next year they're like, I don't have friends.
Yeah, they're lost.
Where are my friends? Like, even now, like all my friends are 2 years older than me. Like I said, like so it's like that was normal for me. So my sophomore year was interesting. I was like, I gotta find like a identity or like a thing. So I was just like, my mom was like, do sports. Didn't make basketball. I was terrible. I was trash. I was short. I was like 5'5".
You were short?
Bro, I sucked. I was trash.
You were short?
Yeah.
Boy, you're like fucking 6'5" now.
But like I was 5'5" at the time. I remember because there was this drill. There was a drill we had to do and jump up and touch the backboard 5 times before we run and do like a suicide, right? Basketball. I jumped my full like vertical leap at the time, and I couldn't touch the rubber part on the backboard. So like, the coaches, I could hoop, like, but I was just short. The coach was looking at me like, this is like first days. I'm like, I'm cut, whatever. So I do the thing, get cut from that. So my mom was like, yeah, I got cut, and she was like, well, you're gonna do something, like you're not just gonna stay in the house. And I was like, fine. So sophomore year, tried out for volleyball, and that was like where I met like a lot of my best friends. Like, yeah, that was intense.
So Mario, Marlo.
Yes. Which one? I don't, it doesn't matter.
Which one do you want? Do you want to get into how that's a?
Yeah, because I don't even know how that shit popped
I
up.
want to know. I literally have no idea.
I was literally gonna tell you while we we're setting everything up, and I was like, no, I have to save it.
Yeah, you got to save something, right?
So to specify, your name is Mario.
My name is Mario Jordan Patrick. Full government out there for the people.
Mario Jordan
name.
what?
Mario Jordan Patrick. That's my full
Patrick.
name.
Oh, that's
Your
Irish.
last name's Patrick?
Yeah, some slave ownership in there.
Oh shit!
But whatever, right? It's whatever, right? So yeah. When I started rapping, it was like I had a bunch of bad names. Like my friends roast me all the time now, but like I had a name first. It was numero uno. That was number one in Spanish for anybody that never, it was numero uno because that was terrible. Only Zoe and Dork, they've had the same names the whole time coming up. But and then after that for a while, I was what was it? It wasn't numero uno. It was Bradley. I don't know why. I just picked Bradley. And everybody was like, why? Your name's Bradley. It just sounds, it's cool. I like it. Got roasted for that one too. And then I don't know, when I finally started taking it seriously, and I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to start pushing to people. I was like, I need a serious name, Marlo just sounded cool. At first, Marlo was dope. It just sounded nice. And all it did, Marlo just takes the I and changes it to an L.
Yeah.
So I would tell people as a joke, I was just all my songs are about the L's I take in life. So
So I just threw one in my name.
So I threw one in my name.
Just it's what it is. That's a joke. But that's really what it became. When I listen to my songs now, it's just I learned a lesson from here and there, and it makes sense. On my Apple Music and Spotify and stuff now, there's a giant capital L in the middle of the name.
Oh shit! Yeah, there is. I've noticed that.
It's really awkward.
So it's lowercase MAR. Capital L.
Capital L, and then O, and then MP3. That's the whole thing.
And what exactly?
That's a shameless plug right there.
Oh, no, you're good, dude.
No, we'll plug you at the end.
Yeah. But
I guess start off people don't even know you rap. That's the first thing to start
I was
off.
going to bring up what genre, but
oh yeah, genre. It's Afro punk. No, I'm joking.
Afro punk.
Yeah, it's rap. It's rap, R&B, soul, all that stuff. Trying to just make something new. Hopefully, that's what everybody's trying to do. Make something new that you can't really describe. Because that's the thing. When older people ask me, oh, what kind of music do you make? I don't know. I don't know. I feel it doesn't do it justice because it definitely doesn't sound like everything that's really popular right now.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. It's somewhere in the middle. But
that's not what you want though. You don't want to just rip off whatever's hot. You kind of want to create your own style, your own image, and everything.
Yeah. But there's still that aspect of there's certain artistry where it's cool if you can emulate a certain sound that you heard on the radio one time, and you can emulate. You can make there's YouTube videos of some really talented guys making videos about how to make your vocals sound like Travis Scott. This is videos rappers like me watch all the time. How to make your vocals sound like Lil Skies or Juice WRLD, whatever big name you like. So you watch that video and you're like, oh, these guys can do everything. So it's kind of impressive to see that you can make a joke song and not really put your whole into something and still have it come out decent, it's sounding radio quality or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. A lot of my songs, my favorite things about them is that they kind of sound, a lot of them kind of sound unfinished or unprofessional. But
they sound more raw.
Yeah. It doesn't have that big budget behind it necessarily. But you still want to pine for that sound. You still want it to sound as clean as you can. But there's a certain aspect to it that you take pride in the fact that you got this sound from whatever bedroom studio you were in, or say, you bought a little studio time downtown or something. It's just cool. To give put your honest effort in. I have a lot of friends that would go to LA Film and stuff, and they engineer and things like that, but they're not, they're not paid professionals yet, but they're learning. So you chop it up with them and they send you some files back, and sometimes people will blow you away. Other times it's oh, that's not exactly what I was looking for.
Other engineers?
Yeah. That's a big thing. Because I just rap. That's the thing. I rap.
Yeah.
I tried the producing thing for a while, but it's just not my niche. It's not natural to me. It is writing lyrics and all that stuff. I've also tried my hand at engineering, basically my vocals and things like that, but I'm not necessarily good when it comes to mastering a singer's vocals or a friend's vocals. I just know what I want for my voice most of the time.
I feel your voice, from what I've heard, it comes off pretty deep in your tracks.
Yeah. It's that baritone. I told you, I warned you guys. If I drop my vocals really low,
well, because you're a very, very soft-spoken person. Even on this, I have the headphones on this time just to make sure that everything's picking up well. Mm-hmm. And not that that's a problem at all. It's just, Tub and I project a lot more, especially in our laughs and everything. There are times when I have to tweak shit down, but with you, I'm over here bumping it loud just to make sure it picks you up. But so, shit, we can go really any direction with this.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, dude, super stoked to have you.
I knew that we have both of us have our own like separate like groups of friends and everything, but we're still like whenever we see each other, because we run into each other in public
every time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I never see you like ever. I always see you like the last place I would expect to see.
Yeah, like I ran into you at Wingstop.
Yeah, and I'm like
East Palmdale.
There's no way. I'm like, that's K-Tub. No way, it's K-Tub. And you turn around and you're just excited to see me as I was to see you. Like, that was amazing.
And so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I knew you would bring like a unique perspective in that, like we could go to our closest friends time and time again, but like I was like, I want to be able to reach out and get people that like I know like I'm always dope with, and we always have like a good vibe, but like I can get completely different like perspectives and worldviews and ideas in. And so you want to show that versatility.
That's why I thought this one would be interesting, because I feel like, you know, I don't know for sure, but out of everyone you guys have had on, I feel like this is like the most like ambiguous. Like
it's like the most cut from a different cloth, I'd say.
100%. So as for rapping, like how old are you?
I'm 21.
You're 21. When did you get into it?
I got into rapping like 15, 16, like seriously. But I remember too, I had a girlfriend at the time. And you guys are hear me like grunt a lot when I say girlfriend. Like,
I had this. Fuck.
I had a girlfriend at the time. I was like 15 or 16. So my friends were a little bit older than me, like 17, 18, getting ready to like graduate and like we move out and all this stuff. And we would pull up on the block, and my friends were shooting a music video. I don't know whose video it was. It was like Dork was outside. They were shooting a music video. And I bring the girl over to meet like my guy. You know, like the first time you're like introducing a girl to a guy friends. You're like, like you're just, everybody's checking each other out, I guess,
Yeah.
And they said, she was like, oh, I didn't know you make music. And then like the guys look at me like, what? Like she didn't know you make music. I was like, let's go. I was like, let's go to the car.
Let's go in the car.
Like, sits me down, and she was like, no, like I want to hear your music. I want to hear your music. And I played her some song that we had at the time. She liked it, and I was like, that was like my first time like ever like show like actively going out of my way showing somebody that wasn't like friends or family, or like if you didn't know me, you didn't know. And then she liked it and she started playing it, and like that's when it hit me. I was like 15 or 16 at the time. I was still in high school, so like it was cool. But it was just to see like, if you never put yourself out there, like I do this, some people are never going to check you out. Like, and it's that simple. So like 15, 16, we were making raps in like the homie's garage and stuff, like nothing serious, like recording on iPhones and iPads and stuff like that. And then we started getting laptops and upgrading our equipment, because homies are going off to college and coming back with mics, and we're like, oh, it's game time. Like, oh, we're rapping. Like, okay, we're doing it.
It's the next step.
Yeah. And started shooting videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. I remember like, my first time I think ever was like exposed to like you and like your guys' like group and everything was when our friend Dom was like, hey, like me and some of the homies are.
Was it a house show?
Huh?
Was it a house show, or was it like the one?
It was fuck. I think you guys went separately.
Yeah.
I think you guys did yours and Dom did his.
Yeah, it was nuts.
But like it was when you guys opened for Lil Yachty.
Oh, hold the fuck up.
Yeah.
Hold up. What?
That was a fluke, bro. That was a complete fluke, but it happened. Like, it happened. Like,
what do you mean it's a fluke?
We were just like right place, right time sort of thing. Like, like Dirk's the type of guy to always kind of keep a flash drive in his pocket. So like it was like beneficial, I guess you could say. But yeah, it was definitely a fluke, but that was like.
You guys like caught a stroke of luck?
Yeah, but that kind of showed us. We rocked that show, and we look at the crowd, and we look at the footage, and we're like, "Yeah, we could do this." Like, like everything. Like that's why when it comes to like, that's funny that you brought that up. Like at all.
That was my first memory, man. That was like when like I fucking met you guys.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so like we had that show. It was fucking awesome. Like it was a ton of fun.
It's funny that you bring up the big name like Uzi, but it's like I don't know. I feel like I can check out people more and be like, oh, who's here when we throw our own shows.
Wait, was it Uzi or Yachty?
No, you opened for Yachty.
Sorry.
Did you guys open for Uzi or no?
That was not in Diego, but like that's.
But because didn't one of you guys open for Jacquees?
I did that.
Yeah, you did that. Yeah,
bro. Like that's the thing. I feel like because that's a difference. Like when you say like when I started rapping, I feel like I've been rapping since I was little. But like the shows and like opening and like trying to like find money in it and like doing things like that started like when I turned 18. Like that first show was so. I don't know. Like it was different. Like my manager booked it. and we sell the tickets that we need to sell to like book the show or whatever. And I was like, this is crazy. Like my family was there, people I hadn't seen in forever were there, and I'd be like, it's harder to tell who's really there at those big like at the big
yeah, because it's like you guys got lights on you. You're not worried about like faces. You're worried about doing your shit.
That's why I like the smaller ones. Like I remember vividly seeing you at Hot Scale. Like I saw you
dude,
there.
I hosted that shit,
bro. Like that was insane. Like you know what I mean? Like where you can really look around and like you put a name to a face with everyone. Like that goes a longer way than like the big shows where like it's cool like to get a little bit of exposure, but a lot of those people aren't gonna pick up their phone and just like type your Instagram in unless they were really like blown away by what you're doing. That's why when we do those big shows, we try to show out and go crazy. Yeah. But that's funny, dude. That's funny. Did you see Dom? You've seen Dom open up then too, like for Xavier Wolf and.
I wasn't there for that one.
He's done some crazy ones. He just did another one. I'm trying to remember for who. But yeah, like the opening game is fun, but we had to realize that's not gonna like. It's not going to make you famous. Like it's fun. It's like
but it's not going to put you on.
It's not
because people aren't there for the openers.
No, they're not. But I mean, that's when we started realizing like that's why you kind of need a manager because you're backstage or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you need representation and those things like that. That's when those things started coming into play. But like, just imagine, bro. I was like 18 years old and I was like, "You're opening for U-PHORIA and Diplo." I was like, "Okay,
what?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on right now? Like literally, what is going on in this conversation?"
Well, it sounds crazy, but like
this is a conversation between you and Tub, which I'm totally fine with just listening. But like a lot of the time, you're just gonna hear me go, "Huh?" Like because you guys are talking about it because obviously you know shit between each other, but I know jack shit about this.
This is your guys' first time meeting, right?
Yeah.
So E40 and Diplo?
Yes.
That was the fuck? You were 18?
I was 18 years old. I was going to Pierce. I was playing volleyball. I was going to school full time, 12 units, whole thing. Had a couple of roommates. But I remember before I went back to school that semester, I had hit my manager up. And I was like, dude, like I didn't have a manager. I hit my friend up at the time. And I was like, man, I want to do something with my music. Like, you know, and he was pretty plugged in at the time. He went to FITM. And I figured that was somewhat more connected in LA than I was. And he was passionate about it. He wanted to manage. So I said, bro, will you be my manager? And we tried it out for a summer. And the summer was great because it was just like my manager, he would like go everywhere, he would drive everywhere or all around the AV blasting my music. Like, yeah, this is my guy. I'm like, you know, and it was just like,
that's fucking dope.
Did you see the difference in your numbers when it's just you sending a link out and like there's actively someone out there like pushing you?
Right, word of mouth.
Right, especially out here. But yeah. So time goes by. I'm back at school. I'm like playing volleyball or whatever. I get out of practice. And I have this text on my phone, and all like everybody that I was like playing volleyball with knew I rapped, and like I took it seriously. You know, like go to the studio straight after practice and all that. But I get a text one day, my manager, and he says, "Hey, do you want to open up for E40?" And he doesn't even mention Diplo. He said, "Do you want to open up for E40?" And I was like, yeah, like that's insane. Like what? My dad will come to that? Like, oh my God, like let's do it. Like that's perfect. But then like there was like I didn't realize that there was so much, I don't even know what to call it. Like there was so much potential at the time in the underground. Like there was a show that same weekend, it was between E40 and Xavier Wolf. But my manager decided, he was like, no, it's better to do a big name. That way we can make sure we sell all the tickets. Yeah. Because he's doing Xavier Wolf Underground. Like, you know, like that's not really my type of music anyway. So we were like, yeah, we're going to go do this little show. That was so eye-opening because like you get there and you're like starstruck and you're like, who's this backstage? And there's lights and there's money going around and there's just a lot going on. But you're like, wow, I made it here. Like I made it here with like my best friends that we said we were going to make it here. Like, you know what I mean? We did it.
That's
so you're kind of
cool,
just
dude.
like caught up in it at first, like not really taking everything in like you should, like because now I'm back there. It's all business. Like
yeah,
I try to focus
so different.
Like I try to be on point, like as much as I can. Because like a big part of it, because I ended up separating from my management like a while back. Like a big part of it was me being responsible for my own like career, making sure like I'm back there shaking hands too. I'm not just letting him, you know,
do all the talking,
talk for me, and all this stuff. Because mind you, my manager at the time was also a rapper. Never do that. Never have your manager be a rapper. That
sounds
common
sketch.
Yeah, that sounds like conflicting too many different things together.
Yeah, and it was crazy. It was a crazy time in my life because, like, you know, I had different people talking to me, telling me this stuff as if I don't think about my own life. Like, you know, I'm aware, but it's just like there's certain opportunities you got to take, and there's certain people like if you put them in a situation to do what they feel, you know, they're made to do, they're gonna handle their business like every time. Yeah, like I have certain rapper homies that. Like, they can rap. They can kill it. They hop in the studio, one verse, done. Like, you know, if other homies, they hop on stage. That's their thing. Like, they can get a whole auditorium of people that don't even know who they are to, like, party like they're Lil Uzi or somebody like that. And I have other homies that are more, like, into, like, the engineering side of things. But, like, you know what I mean? They're not going to, like, they still have, like, you know, everybody, like, specializes at different things. So I think it's about pulling all that together to, like, make it as good as it can be.
Yeah, man. I didn't even know you guys did or was it you specifically, like as a solo act with the E-40?
That's the thing. Like that's the thing when you get into like the nitty gritty of it, like the details. It was supposed to be just me. So the ticket said Marlo E-40. No, it said Marlo and Breach, but I remember they spelled the name wrong on the ticket. So it said
people who don't know, like what's Breach?
Breach is me, Lambo Carlo, Dork the Ghost, and Zaherzoid.
And that's your guys' group.
What's the last name? The last name is
Hairzoid.
Hairzoid?
Yes.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you even spell that?
Harzoid. That is my geyser. That is the guy. That is.
Yeah, he was the other one that was gonna be on if we could have made it work.
Yeah.
He's
no shit, dude.
Yeah, so we both listen to you guys all the time.
So that's
fucking dope. Yeah. I love Zoid, man. He's so dope.
That's the thing, bro. We heard you guys doing this, and like it's just inspiring. Like it's inspiring, like to literally like hear, like you guys put your creative process up like for display for other people, like to look at, because that's the thing about people are gonna listen and they're gonna learn and they're gonna adapt, because I guarantee there's more people that are gonna have to drop their podcast after this one, guys, because like you're inspiring people. There's people listening that won't give you credit that they're listening, but they are, like, guaranteed, because I make sure to bring it up to them all the time. Because it's just like,
it's super fucking appreciated, dude, because
it's not easy, like, bro, I'm sitting here, I'm in it, I don't know how many, like, this is not easy. This is not easy to start up. It's not easy to maintain. And it's not easy to even come up with like a guest list and like organize it and make sure like you get it done.
I will agree with everything that you said, other than it's not hard to start up.
No, it's
when I say the startup,
it's simple to start up. I think it's hard to get yourself going.
Everything else, like leading up to it, like even getting yourself going with this whole thing, I don't know. Like once you have the equipment, that's not hard. It's the whole maintaining shit. Like there are times where I actually, I just brought this up to Tub that our past 2 YouTube videos, I had them uploaded, but they were on private.
So you
I forgot to put them public.
You can only see it if you subscribe,
because there's link, so much shit. No. Like you don't get to see them unless I make them public. Private means private to the owner.
Like completely private.
There's no views on them.
Oh my god!
Because
that's where I listen. I listen on YouTube.
Really?
I don't know, most people do Spotify. Fuck. I'm a YouTube guy. Like I'll put it on like my other the other podcast. Like,
do you have like YouTube Premium?
No,
dude.
I just put it on a list.
But honestly, bro, it's worth it. I get it. It's fucking worth it. Totally off tangent,
the only thing that sells me with the YouTube Premium bullshit is the fact that you can close the app. And it still plays in the background.
Exactly why I have it. I have it because you can close the app, you don't get any ads, and your view gives more revenue to the people that you support.
I just don't like that. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
I'm not a big fucking fan of people saying that you have to pay to get
certain content,
certain perks. Like, then again, I pay for fucking Netflix and Spotify
and Apple Music, I'm sure.
No, I refuse.
No, man, Spotify's where it's at.
Yeah, Spotify.
Okay, no, that's funny that you guys say that too, because like, yeah, now that I've just recently started putting music up there, I'm like asking people like, oh, like what do you listen to? Like, what's your 50-50 here? Most people do prefer Spotify. Why is that? Is that like the subscription? Is there a reason behind it? Is it just smoother?
I just like Spotify a lot.
Look better. What is it?
Offer more. I don't actually know much about Apple Music at all.
Like my girlfriend, for the longest time was like pure Apple Music, and I was pure Spotify. So whenever we were in the car and whoever was on aux, I had to like learn both. The layout of Spotify is cleaner.
Smooth. It's nice. Like it sits in your hand.
Yeah,
it just feels.
It's
new.
dark and you got green going, so it's aesthetically it's nice. Yeah. But also with like Apple Music, maybe I'm not navigating it right, but even then, they don't even make it simple enough for me to figure it out. But like, if I want to, on Spotify, if I want to play a song next, you just add it to the queue. Yeah. And then the more you add to the queue, you can check what you have queued up. And then you can like rearrange the order of it if you want.
Yeah, that's
in case like, oh, like I actually want to hear this next. And you queue it up and then you just put it to the top of the list. On Apple Music, I have no idea how to check the queue.
I want to say it's the same thing, but
I've been like, I legitimately like went on like kind of like a hunt to find out how to do it. Couldn't figure out how to do it. You can play things. You can do play next or play later, which Spotify doesn't do. But you get confused with them, or at least I did. On top of that, Spotify, what sets it apart and what makes it better is their biggest like advantage over Apple Music is their playlists and their radios.
Playlists are huge.
Their playlists are amazing. Yeah. Like with with Spotify, you listen to an album, and as soon as the album ends, it doesn't stop playing music. It starts a radio based off of that album for you. So then you'll start hearing other music by that same artist, and then other related music.
And then their
I know,
whole
like, well, because smaller artists get filtered into like those bigger playlists. Like that's why I prefer Spotify, because like you can see who you're competing with and what you're not. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's based.
And then their whole like Discover Weekly and your weekly playlists and different.
That's what I was going to get.
So much more, yeah.
So like
so much shit.
Yeah, they'll analyze everything that you have saved in your library and then give you a recommendations playlist every Monday. And so they give it to you. This is your Discover Weekly. Listen to it and see what you like. And I have discovered so many like phenomenal bands from it. Like
crazy.
that band I showed you called Bad Pony. I got them through my Discover Weekly playlist.
I think I remember.
And this band they're from Australia, and they're this small band that is absolutely insane. And it depends on if you like the genre of music. They're like alternative.
Is that what the band that plays the drums together?
Yes.
Ooh,
so this
shit,
band,
they are so
this
sick.
band has like a normal, like a guitarist, a bass player. They have a keyboardist, and they have their vocalist who's the drummer. So that's the first.
What?
Yeah. So the first part is this, they have the vocalist who's a drummer, but he doesn't play the full set of drums. He disperses the set of drums amongst his bandmates. So like this, like the synth player will have like a snare drum, and then the guitarist will have the kick drum, and they'll have it all mixed up within each other, but they'll play it in sync like a drummer.
Dude,
it's goosebumps.
That's insane.
Because like, you know, when people show you music and you're like, oh, that's dope. He showed me this music. It was like almost like that feeling that you get when a band that you've been listening to for years puts out a new album. That's the same feeling I got of like
the first time seeing them.
Dude, this is nuts.
So to put anyone on who's listening,
what's that one
band's
song?
called Bad Pony, and the song is called Half Blood. Go watch the music video.
The music video.
Okay, you saw the video.
Yeah,
and that's what got you.
Yes.
Yeah, because
we were
going to go get dinner.
The song is honestly, it's phenomenal. It really is like a wonderful.
It's a great song.
They did
and
really well.
The rest of their music is really good.
And he was showing me a couple other things, but it was just when he showed me the video and he was like, "This is what they do," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I saw it and I was like, "No way, dude!"
Oh, and like their vocalist is super powerful, can sing super well. But like when you see all of them in sync, when like at one point the guitarist stops playing his guitar, the synth player stops playing synth or keyboard, and they all pick up sticks at the same time, and they all just start slamming on the drums in sync with each other.
Well,
yeah, and it's
no Nick Cannon.
It's just amazing. No Nick Cannon. No Nick Cannon. But yeah, so go watch the music video Half Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put a reminder.
For the band Bad Pony. It is amazing. And once I heard that song and then this other song called Zombie, I was hooked. Okay. And I started like going through all this stuff. Too? Huh? No, they don't have a music video for Zombie. They have music videos for other ones and like live performances that they've done. But their stuff's amazing.
So like if you hadn't seen the music video, do you think you still would have been as interested?
I wasn't put on by the music video.
You found the song.
I found the song through this Discover Weekly playlist on Spotify.
That's right. You told me that.
Yeah, and so I found that on there. I was like, oh, their music's amazing. So I went through their music, and I could not stop finding songs that, like, not just songs that I liked, but songs that I loved enough to replay over and over again. And they had multiple. Yeah. And I was like, oh, these guys are amazing. And the frustration with all of it is that they're so like small right now that they don't really tour outside of Australia.
That's what I was going to ask you next. I was going to say,
dude, so they don't come out to California, and it breaks my heart.
So let's just go to Australia.
Yeah, let's just fly to Aussie and see them play.
I don't know why you're making a joke of this,
but because I don't have the money.
So serious.
We can get them. No, I'm just kidding.
How big are they? Like,
they're not very big.
Are they signed?
If I don't know actually if they're signed or not.
Because that's interesting.
If I can see like on Spotify, just off of their page, they have 32,000 monthly listeners.
That's pretty solid.
And
I mean, it's solid, but like when you
compared to like
the grand scheme of things in
it's not much
that genre,
it's a band.
Because that's monthly listeners.
Yeah, and this
to give you an example, Xavier Wolf, who's the underground artist that you open for, has 600,000.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so like,
well, that's the thing too. I didn't even ask you guys when we were talking about streaming services. I didn't even ask you guys about SoundCloud. Like, do you guys listen to SoundCloud at all?
I don't use it.
No. I honestly,
if someone sends you a SoundCloud link, are you like, get this shit out of my face?
To an extent,
because you guys gotta understand, like, I'm that guy. Kate, you know.
Well,
I'm that guy. I actually have Instagram. I will send you a SoundCloud link and call you and ask you about it the next day if you listen to it. Like, I'm that guy because I just feel like I gotta push my shit.
Being friends with you guys about like with this stuff, like I've actually had people who I follow on Twitter who I didn't even know rapped, who just like out of nowhere would DM me a SoundCloud link. And rather than like brushing it off like my instant reaction, I would listen to it and then I'd give them constructive criticism.
Yeah, because
I feel like, oh, like your vocals are kind of getting drowned out by the beat here. I think you should up them.
Yeah,
and
like if it's a link, it's a link. I just my personal preference, if I could avoid it, I'd avoid it. But if that's where somebody has their art, I'll go look at it.
Because honestly, I have to tell you guys, like first, like just from personal experience, I've been treated differently because like I've shown someone an Apple Music page versus like my SoundCloud, which has more numbers, or my Spotify, which has less streams than my SoundCloud, but it just has a certain like professionality to it that people look at it.
Definitely does,
like,
man.
Oh, but it's definitely it's a mental thing for sure.
I found
100%.
I found some amazing songs on SoundCloud, and I've heard some terrible songs on Spotify. Like, why did I get suggested this? But
well, that's what I noticed. The one thing Spotify is not good at is suggesting rap. Like their rap, like because Joel,
it's gonna be radio stuff. Like it's gonna be whatever.
Well, no, because like Joel has a bunch of rap saved, and his Spotify weekly is like a bunch of trash rap.
Is
like,
like
of no name guys. Like
it's
small like guys that are getting exposure.
That's
but like Joel said one,
you're like, what is this? Like, what is this?
He said 1 week he started off and he put his whole weekly Spotify playlist on shuffle, and the first thing he heard was Young Turd on the beat, and he paused it and didn't listen to it all week.
Yeah.
No.
So
yeah.
I mean,
no.
And that's like an ongoing joke.
I'll straight up I'll be real with you, Marlo. If you came in here and you said I go by Young Turd, I'd turn this off.
But what if it was fire? Like, what if the music was fire?
Don't care.
Because that's the thing nowadays. Like, it's like, oh, the name's weird. Like, what? Why? You look it up. You're gonna Google it anyways. Just cause
like if somebody straight up was like, my name's Little Shathid, I'd be like,
Lil Shitty probably got bars. So like, I'm just thinking about it different now. Like, because it's like rappers, you got to do something to get attention. First thing.
Okay, that's
true.
You
get attention, and then it's like, all right, what am I going to do with this attention? It's like Lil Shitty, that sounds terrible and annoying.
See, I guess
all that. But
so
like,
I have a big problem with that, with the whole like clickbait shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan. I don't like clickbait, like YouTube thumbnails. I don't like it with, oh, this is my name, and it catches you off guard, so you remember. I hate it because
it depends
to
on
me,
your
like,
definition of clickbait.
Okay. Well, that's okay. So your name's Young Turd.
Young Turd on the beat. Mm-hmm.
You are literally creating that name. It's literally shit, and you're creating that name to just get attention.
Yes, like that's it, and that's
it's
it.
clickbait.
But then hopefully, like the music is good, so like you kind of like forgive the
right. But why not? Why not let
sense.
Because I understand that everything in this world is oversaturated. Podcasts, music, fucking art, painting, photographs, whatever. Everything. Everyone is doing everything.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
But still, let your music. That's how I stand, and this is probably one of the reasons that eventually my photography will just, and I don't think it will. I will push myself to get to a certain extent or to a certain point, and then push myself past that. But I refuse to put a bad name or like a bad vision on my photography just to get attention in the beginning so that I can be successful later.
I respect that.
I will let my art speak for itself. I think other people should let their songs speak for themselves versus I'm going to name myself Young Turd just to get attention. My songs are fucking fire, but my name's Young Turd. Eat my dick.
Yeah, because it's Young Turd.
Nah, that
Young
shit.
So you don't have the same mentality of like there's no such thing as bad exposure.
That's a good question.
No, I don't have that. I had to think
there's
about
definitely bad exposure.
There's 100% bad exposure.
Yeah.
I think there is, but I think there's
I have a perfect
way more
example.
good exposure than there is bad exposure.
No, 100%. But what I'm saying is there is a such thing as bad exposure.
No,
Did you guys see that shit?
But that
with
goes back to exactly what I said about. I said, it's not like you get the attention, and then it's about what you do with it. It's not hard to get people's attention. It's not.
Exactly.
It's really not. You can do a lot of dumb things.
No, you can literally go. Okay, so if
Miley
you
Cyrus did a good job with that.
but she was on drugs
for a while.
But like she did a good job of getting attention and then dropping Wrecking Ball and having that shit break the charts.
Yeah,
right.
It's not about how you.
At what cost? At what cost?
She's gone. Yeah, because it's all that quick stuff. It's all that easy bake oven bullshit that like, it's good. Like it gets, like it pops. Like, I don't know if you guys even know this guy. His name's Boont Gang. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If
you're on Twitter, you know Boont.
Viral meme guy. Like he just got famous, like committing crimes essentially. Like on like,
even though they were set up
video.
Okay,
and it goes viral, and like he drops music 2 months later. Whatever, handles like legal trouble. But it's just like I don't know. I feel like first impressions are very important, especially with music, especially with photography, especially with like anything.
It's what people associate you with.
Well, what's
your perfect example that you were going to bring up?
I'll bring that perfect example up in a second. But the other example I wanted to use is if you go into a restaurant and you stand on top of a table and you scream out, "Yo, I got something to say." And everybody's going to stop. But the first initial reaction is everyone's going to be pissed.
Yeah, because it's like,
you've interrupted their dinner. You're rude as fuck. You're making a scene. And now everyone has to stop what they're doing because you have something to say. And then you follow it up with a really good message.
Hopefully.
No. What I'm saying, I'm using it as an example.
Otherwise, come on, man.
But what I'm saying is you come up with a bad first impression and then follow it up with something really good. Half those people, maybe half, maybe 30%, maybe 70%, are going to not either listen, take it in. They're going to fucking tell you to go kick rocks, like whatever. That's what I'm seeing it as, is you're kicking the fucking door open to somebody's house and then offering them really good stuff.
But you know the name of my group, right?
Breach?
We love kicking in the door and people.
Oh, yeah, no, okay.
I don't know. Like, we live for it.
But that's different because like that's a metaphor. Yeah. Like what you're breaching, you know, I like that shit because that actually has like a meaning to it versus like young turd is literally to get people's attention because your name is actually shit. It's poop. It's poo. It's a turd.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that. But let me give that perfect example of bad exposure. Did you guys see that fucking YouTube video of the guy making out with his sister?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah. But that triggers people on purpose. Like, you know, it's meant to.
I don't give a fuck.
Do that. Like, the internet's just.
No, dude. No. Let that sink in for a fucking second. Yeah. You are making out with your sister so that you can get more attention? This is your fucking sister.
Supposedly. I said
supposedly, but
true.
But like,
true.
It's just,
who knows? Who knows?
Clout's a drug. Attention is a drug.
It really is a drug. And I hate that shit.
Nick, I guess since you're the one who has like the more like
the biggest hold up on it.
Well, yeah, biggest hold up on it. Say somebody interrupts your dinner. They stand up on a table. We're at BJ's. Stand up on a table. Hey, I got something to say. Right? And then says this like really great, beautiful, positive message.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
My first initial reaction?
No, I mean your final reaction.
My final reaction.
Your takeaway.
Am I really into the beautiful thing that they just mentioned?
There's no way. Unless they said like free drinks on me, I'm like, shut the fuck. Sit down. Sit down. Why are you yelling at dinner?
Thank you. That's where I'm at.
I can see your side, but I'm just, you know.
Because it's this. No, I'm sorry, but no.
I guess that's where a time and a place.
Yeah, I guess that's where I differ. Like if I'm at BJ's and I'm with my friends or whatever, unless I'm having a super serious conversation where it's like heartfelt, heartbreaking, like this needs all my attention right now. But if I'm just with my friends chilling and somebody like stands up on the table like, hey, I got something to say, and they're just like, I hope everyone has a good day and like stay positive and blah 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 and everything, and it's like a dope message, and they walk away from it, I'd be like, oh, that was kind of cool.
I'm sorry, that wasn't needed. If you want it,
because that's literally how it is. It's a split. It's usually a 50-50 split reaction. Like it's like some people are like, wow, that was dope. Right place, right time. I'm here for a reason type shit. And then there's the other side that's like, bro, why? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
And for me, it's like, it didn't do much. Like, literally 5 minutes after he's done talking, my dinner is back to normal like it was before.
That's fine.
And so, like, I didn't lose anything out of it. Sure, he yelled one time, but, like, I'm not tripping over it. I think it's the same, like, it's like when a waiter drops, like, a stack of dishes and it crashes and it's super loud and it interrupts your dinner and everything.
Accident.
No, I know. But,
that's an accident.
But like it's the same way how it interrupts your dinner. Like you see it and then you go, oh, okay, and you go back to your dinner and everything goes back to normal.
I see it as, hey, everybody, stop what you're doing and have something really important to say. It's more important than what you're doing right now. I feel like
your problem comes from the person, because it's like for a person. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
But I feel like just for a person to even do that, like, you know, it's like what, like attention.
Well, no, my attention or my problem isn't the person, it's the action. It's just dropping. If somebody sneezed really fucking loud to the point where like it made everyone in the restaurant go, is that person dead? They sneezed. That was something they couldn't control. But you didn't need to stand up and you didn't need to fucking scream out that you have something to say. Yeah. If you want to tell everyone to have a good day, cool. Then go up to each table and do it. Or just ask politely, may I have your attention? And if the whole restaurant says yes, then cool.
Well, what do you mean if the whole restaurant says yes?
I mean literally the whole restaurant. If you get a no, sit your ass back down.
I think that's extreme.
Why?
No, that's fair.
No, I think you're literally ruining that person's night. If they tell you no and then you go on with it, you're literally going against them saying no.
I feel like that soapbox mentality is like really like it's just not gonna go. It's not gonna go how you think it's gonna go in your head. Even if you
know, like when you're at a bar and everyone's fucking. Well, I don't know how many bars you've been to yet since. Oh, you're 21.
I've been to a few.
Okay. Even a bar. We'll use a party for example. Everyone's been to parties, and you have that one fucking guy that just scream something out and everyone cheers, right? That's because it's a party. It's
right
already loud. It's the right environment. Everyone's having a nice dinner and you stand up literally on the table and you want to just make us, you're ruining the whole.
So what if they stand up on the table or not and go, hey, can I have everybody's attention, right? And then they start this speech about how like they've been eating here their whole life and blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, they propose to their girlfriend.
Now, that whole thing, I get that. And I understand it's very sweet. But why did everybody need to see your proposal?
To put it, because it's like to make it a scene, because it would be kind of weird
to not make it a scene.
Like you're just like eating and you go look and you're like, oh shit, someone's proposing.
Why is that weird?
Because I feel like
I find that more sweet because he's doing it in public and enough to show. Okay, we'll just say it's a man proposing to a woman. He is doing it enough to say, I want to show you off in public, but I don't need everyone to look. But I do want.
Bro, why is that my whole like thing? I'm showing off in public, but I don't need everyone to look.
Right.
No, I like that mentality. I apply that to my relationship, but I like when people do that. When people like make it a big deal. When people make everyone known that they're proposing. It's the same thing with. We went to a concert and the person went on stage with the consent of the band, but not with the consent of the band. But not with the consent of the crowd.
Everybody's there to see the band, so whatever the band agrees to almost in turn, everyone kind of.
What concert was it? What happened?
So we went to a concert and a couple went on stage and the guy proposed to his girlfriend. And like, I remember both of us thinking like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's so great. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone's clapping and cheering and they made it a great thing. I feel like that's comparable to the restaurant. Like people aren't there for the.
It's comparable to an extent though, because they got permission from a set of people that literally everyone is there for the band. So if the band agrees, yeah, no, this should be a thing that everyone's going to like, then they know their crowd. Versus if you're in a restaurant, you don't know anybody there unless you maybe know the waiter or a couple friends that are there, whatever the case may be. But you are going out of your way to interrupt what people are doing when it has nothing to do with their dinner.
Okay, so where is a like public announcement for a proposal acceptable other than like obviously so not
a
dinner?
Public announcement?
Yeah, so like say you're at Disneyland. And you're like, hey everyone, can I have your attention? I just want to like let my girlfriend know, blah, 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 and then they go on one knee and propose.
I'm not. It's not that I don't find it acceptable.
Have you guys seen like proposals like in like?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've been caught off guard and it's just like, oh
yeah. People have like, hey, can I have everyone's attention? And
I
like,
always feel so weird. Like I just feel like I'm not supposed to be in this moment. Like with
that's funny. Like
that's my perfect example.
Yeah,
is just like you're doing it in this setting, right? And then you yell it out. And people like Marlo are walking by where they're like, shit, dude, I shouldn't be here.
I'm smoking a blunt.
Yeah, like I got this beer in my hand and a corn dog in the other, and you're proposing. It's a really sweet moment. I look like fucking trash. Like, what I'm getting at is I don't think that it's acceptable versus unacceptable. I think it's rude. I think it's rude to put it on other people.
I disagree. I think like and this is just like, opinionated.
Yeah, of
you
course.
guys have your opinions and I have mine, but like through my eyes, through Tubbs lens, when I see anyone in majority of situations get up, make a public announcement and then propose to their significant other, I think it's awesome. Like I love it. I like to take in that moment and know that it's a great thing for that person. And also it takes a lot of fucking like guts to do that because you could totally do it without everyone watching and that's fine.
Like there's people that would see that and like they're just instantly mad because they don't have the guts to do that. They don't have the guts.
That's envy though.
But
and that's what a lot of people have in their heart when they're looking at you propose to your significant other on whatever romantic occasion.
This is where you deem that worthy versus where I don't.
Yeah.
And that's just personal opinion. And there's nothing wrong with either side.
So would you say it's rude at like Disneyland? You just be
I think it's rude anyway.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Disney gets a pass just because it's Disney.
Yeah.
I think it's rude to...
I think there are more occasions where it's less formal than others, but I still enjoy
and
it.
rude is going a bit far on the
So you would say inconsiderate.
Yeah, sure. We'll call it inconsiderate. It's like everyone's just trying to have a nice day at Disney. Maybe they didn't want to see a proposal. Some people do, but other people like it's...
Yeah. So it's funny. For me, it would just be like
okay, for example, people that are doing sideshows on the street at Ventura. They're just doing their shit. You want to stop and look, you can stop and look. But to scream at somebody, hey, give me your fucking attention.
Well, you're framing it in a rude way right now.
Okay,
though.
yes. Oh, okay. Hey, excuse me. Can I have your attention? If I say no, I look rude.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Because
I
you
don't
don't
know.
even.
I
You
feel
don't
like
have to answer.
you're
You
like
can just
a
walk
triple
away.
OG.
You don't even have to. You don't have to
No, that's
acknowledge
true.
it.
But I guess
So if you go no, then it's like, damn, that guy's a dick.
It's
Why do you even
crazy,
need to answer? If
you don't
want
need to. You don't
want
need
to
to
give
answer.
your attention.
But it's just I don't know. All I'm saying is like maybe at Disneyland it's more acceptable than dinner, but I still don't care for it either way.
so bringing this.
Now, with that being said, hold on, and you can bring it whatever way you want to bring it. With that being said, when I do stop and watch those things, I'm not unhappy for them. I'm cool with it. Hey, man, you wanted to fucking get the attention.
No one
I
to
just
be in your
stopped in that moment. I wasn't happy that you got my attention that way, but now that you're
got
doing
it.
something cool, congratulations, good for you. I'm not telling you to go fuck yourself. I'm just not happy with the way that you went about it. Why not have everyone just keep walking by, drop on one knee, and then just start talking to her. Tell her all the things that you want to tell her. And if people want to stop and be like, oh my God, it's so cute, then cool. If you want the attention, hire a fucking secret photographer. Somebody did that with me. They hired me to be a secret to their proposal.
Yeah.
Had 30 people waiting in this fucking big ass circle. She came up the stairs, was completely shocked. I think that's super sweet.
Yeah.
But to yell out,
But just to make the announcement is rude.
I just find it inconsiderate.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and so like, but if so it's just the announcement. It's not the fact that it's making a scene. It's not because the scene itself can interrupt your dinner too.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I guess my next question that I was getting to is if you find like those kind of like announcements or toasts and stuff like that rude or inconsiderate, how do you feel when you get like an entire table with all like the waiters and everything around it singing like a loud happy birthday during your dinner?
They are doing that for the table that asked.
But
That
it's
is an
interrupting your
agreement.
dinner.
That is an agreement between those two people.
I love singing happy birthday in restaurants. I love just singing happy birthday.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to
at
go off
birthday.
on such a crazy ass
No,
tangent.
I mean it's where the
No.
conversation
okay,
flows.
so but
But you said agreement between what two people?
between the waiters,
Okay.
it's the same thing as when people are at a table and they're loud and laughing and all of that. There's nothing you can do. That's
Yeah.
just who those people are.
So it's primarily the announcement. It's primarily
it's-
grabbing people's
It's
attention.
grabbing their attention, and even if you don't want to, now you have to look. Your first reaction, most people, I'd say about 90% of the world, if you hear a loud noise, you're going to look over, or somebody saying,
Yeah.
"Hey," you're going to look over.
Yeah.
You're catching my attention, and maybe I didn't want that. Versus like a birthday thing, that's an agreed upon thing between the waiters and waitresses and the table itself. That's two people mutually agreeing to do something. Like if a table, if a
But can't
waiter,
you say that they're grabbing your attention and you didn't want that? Isn't that the same
that's
situation?
now my choice to look over versus somebody saying, "Hey, give me your attention."
Yeah, I thought you could tune out the birthday celebration as a whole and just be like, all right, it'll be over in like
Yeah,
30
like
seconds.
everybody knows what a birthday celebration is. Everyone knows what a proposal is. Now, if the restaurant went, "Hey, everybody, we're all going to sing along together," no, the fuck, we're not. I don't
Yeah.
know those people. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to. I'm not being rude. I'm just saying, like, mind your own. Like, that's just how I go about things. I don't like when people specifically laugh really loud to catch other people's attention. You know, that was a whole thing in high school with like, if you were trying to catch the attention of people walking by, oh, start laughing loud, they'll look over. Like everybody knows those people. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that whole thing. It's just not me.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been bothered by it. Like, I get when people, like, totally understand when people are being like obnoxious assholes and they're trying to get like all the attention, and then you hear their reason and you're like, that's not really valid. Like, you should have sat down. But the majority of the time, I hear someone go, "Hey, can I have everyone's attention?" Like, the majority of the time, I hear it. Like, it's never anything that I'm like, sit back down. Like, you shouldn't have done that. The majority of the time, it's in my eyes valid, and so I go, okay, cool, something to mix up the day, something that's like not normal, something that's like you weren't expecting, and so we'll see what happens.
And like I said, dude, there are times where it'll happen. I'll be fine with that. But if I'm trying to have a nice dinner with my friends or with whoever I'm with, my family, whatever. Ooh, excuse me. And I don't want to hear it. Like, and now you're making me hear it. Like, I don't want
That's
to.
why I feel like it's interesting you brought up the kids laughing. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know why I specifically thought of like high school when you said that, because that's a
Oh
very
yeah,
high
that's
school
exactly
thing
what I was getting at. All
to
right.
do. Yeah, but a lot of people don't even grow out of it. Like, a lot of people
Yeah,
don't even grow out of
dude,
it.
you can go literally to our local bar down the street, and you will find the
children,
the people that are just there to get attention of others.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody there is that. I'm saying there are
you will
people.
find those people.
And you can
Yeah.
point them out. Yeah.
Right. And you can find those people anywhere. Like if you go walking through the mall, you'll find some fucking high school girls, some middle school girls that are literally cackling louder. Yeah. They're laughing louder than they fucking need to.
No, because I don't even know, bro. This just goes back to the coaching job thing too. I don't know how old I look, but 15, 16, 17-year-old girls hitting on me in the mall is not okay.
No.
That's not okay.
You definitely look younger.
I have a young face, but it's just,
younger.
yeah.
But yeah, no, that's gotta suck.
That's why
dude.
it's funny that you said yeah, you're like, oh, geez, I'm
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
Man.
I'm a grown ass man. I got baby face, and like, yeah, it's just it makes for some awkward situations. But like, I'll ignore it majority of the time. But if I'm walking with like my manager or like a friend, for example, like they'll for sure point it out. Like, and I'm like, yeah, but you just ignore it because that's.
I'm just surprised.
Like, what do we do?
Like I said, you're 6'5".
Yeah,
So
that's like the one thing I got going for me. Like the height.
No, but what I mean is like that's intimidating alone.
Yeah,
even for like
tall.
I don't know. That's all their own preference. I was going to say maybe the 6'5" thing would give it off. Maybe he's a little bit older.
It does
but
give me, it does give me that pass in some situations. Like they won't even like bother with my age because like I'm tall, so like I'm notably older. But like a lot of people that look at my face, they think I'm like 17, 18 ish.
You do definitely look younger.
Yeah, I try to use that to my advantage.
Well, yeah, no, it's weird now because you get hit on by minors, but like when you're 30, you're gonna be loving it.
Oh yeah,
so
black don't crack.
Black don't crack, baby. You feel me?
Yeah, dude, like you don't have a
Morgan Freeman.
single wrinkle on your forehead. I think I had
bro.
wrinkles at like 7.
Try not
Fucking
to
white
smile.
people.
Try not to frown.
Try not to just a very neutral face your
Stare
entire
at
life.
people, just
But we went off on a tangent,
yeah.
and there are two things that I wanted to bring back up. One I'll remember, but one of the more recent ones was the fact of like this being this podcast, being hard to maintain. Because you said it's hard to start and all those different things. Like once you have the equipment, even if you don't have the equipment, there are people that legitimately buy one microphone and will share it with people that they're sitting with and have it recording on your phone. Very simple, but quality is poor. However, you can start, right? Everything from that point, once you start putting out content is content. That's what all creators say. That's what everybody says you need to do, which is why I'm happy with doing 2 a week.
You guys are busting them out.
Because I
so
want that
much fun.
fucking strict schedule where it's like Mondays and Thursdays. Well, eventually we're gonna hit a speed bump. I know it's gonna happen where we're gonna have to release on a day late or a day early.
Or
whatever
we're gonna have one without a guest or what.
But I want to.
But your ones without a guest are not bad. I heard one the other day and like it was chill.
Yeah,
it was only an hour though.
No, we do ones with and ones without on purpose. But like there will probably be a time where like for some reason our guest like has to cancel last minute. We can't find a replacement. And we're just all right. We're gonna do a duo.
And that's bound to happen. But the point being is that it's content. And I was actually thinking about it today, and I'm getting to a grand point of just there are people that are like, there's a lot to catch up on. I've constantly gotten texts now, especially now that we're doing 2 a week, where they're just like, oh, I'm catching up. I haven't seen these episodes. I said, dude, that's fine. You listen to what you want to listen to. I don't care if you stop listening. I don't know if you want to keep listening. I'm happy when they keep listening. But when I say I don't care, I mean more in a sense of like, I'm not going to be upset. There's no pressure. I'm not going to be like, how dare you? But we're going to keep putting it out because eventually more people are going to tune in. Oh, yeah. And some people are going to want more. Some people are going to want less. But the point is they're going to have this fucking plethora of content to start with. Yeah. And with you being a guest that I don't know, right? Maybe you reach an extra person. So
that's what it's all like. That's what I'm saying. Like, like,
and it's just cool. And it's not like using people to pull other people in. It's using people to
meet more people,
to give a platform to the people that are on, because who knows, dude, maybe somebody hears this and they're just like, I want to look up your music. That's one more person for you.
So dope.
Yeah. And that's just cool from that point. So
just to know that like someone who like was like a regular in our podcast ended up being like a total fan of your music, like to know like even if one person did that, I would love that shit, man.
Just for the record, like you guys already have fans. Like I have homies, like I texted I was doing this yesterday and like, no, they were like, no. I was like, yeah,
that's fucking cool, dude. And that makes us happier than we can possibly express. And I'm getting to a point now where I don't even tell people thank you. I'm just like, no, dude, that's really cool. And then I just talk. to them because like
we appreciate it.
It's we have a friend Linda that hits us up not per episode,
like
but
every other episode,
maybe every 3 episodes, and she just gives us like this long thing.
Long ass
and at
paragraph,
this point,
man.
I'm not saying thank you anymore. I'm just having a conversation because
they
I already know
the points that she hits. You're just like going back and forth.
We're grateful.
I mean, honestly, bro, you don't understand. Like I hit you after that one specifically. I'm trying to remember what episode it was.
Was it just us two or a guest?
It was you guys and a guest. And, guy was telling his whole life story. Caleb, dude. Yeah. Caleb, same name as you. Yeah. So I'm listening to this thing and I get like, I want to say like halfway through. I'm like halfway through. And I just hear like, I hear something like it just set me off. Like I was like, I think I was on fire. Like I just felt inspired. And I think I messaged you like about like when I was like 20, 30 minutes into it and you didn't hit me back until later. But it was just like, bro, like the power that your voices can carry.
That right there. That's all I want. That's all I want, dude, because you got that from Caleb. We had a few other people that got that from Caleb. I heard people that were like tearing up for him or crying over just like feeling for him. We have other people hitting us up just like I had no idea that this was going to affect me this way.
Right.
All those really cool things.
Yeah.
But my point that I was getting at, and not to, because I don't want to just like burn that out. I don't want to keep bringing up the whole, this is so great for this reason, is when you said maintaining the podcast.
Yeah.
That shit is harder than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because let's just in a very short breakdown, this setup takes me about 45 minutes to get everything right.
I was wondering.
So 45 minutes to get all the panels out, all these microphones, all this stuff, because I don't have a setup room yet. The apartment's not big enough and I can't just leave this stuff sitting out. I mean, literally it takes up the entire room.
Yep.
So you got to think about the 45-minute setup, however long the podcast is, the 20 to 30-minute breakdown. Then we have to write a description, which we keep forgetting to do. We always forget certain steps after.
And you guys do the intro later.
We do the intro afterwards.
We have the prime conversation during setup and a little bit before.
We have to, and although this is becoming more natural for us, we have to constantly be aware of what we can say, what we can't say. And there's honestly, like, I'd say 1% of things that we can't say.
Yeah.
And that's just maintaining, like, keeping it interesting, keeping the questions going, and then knowing that sometimes we've already said things in the intro when we do that last.
Yeah.
And like you have all these different things happening, right? Go ahead.
I was going to say something that's totally trippy about like this entire podcast is the fact that like we sit here and we expand on these thoughts that we have. We have these conversations, right? And I catch myself about to have a conversation with a friend with a point that I've never brought up to them, but I've brought up on the podcast, and I'll start to say it, and they'll be like, "I already know what you're saying. You've already said that in the podcast," and I'll go, "Fuck, you're right." And so like I'm literally like the like
Are you
cliche
scrambling for new ideas?
yeah, like the cliche go-to talking points I have with people are starting to run dry because I'm throwing them in here and everybody hears them at once. And so like I'll run into someone and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, like I have this like these phases of thought," and they're like, "Bro, I already know about it."
It's definitely not cliche. It's definitely not cliche. Imagine packaging everything that you're saying on these podcasts into like 2 to 3 minutes of music.
Yeah,
it's not cliche. You're getting your message. Like people are hearing.
I mean, cliche to me,
like
my cliche.
That's actually a point that I want to get to.
You guys
in
are
a
really
second.
intelligent. I will say that you guys are really intelligent guys.
We appreciate
that. I actually enjoy listening to your podcast.
I never
just like,
will get
even
tired.
like even if it's not like a crazy in-depth conversation, just like how you guys communicate to each other, it's very enjoyable to like listen to. Like that's why you guys catch a lot of people. I listen to it at work. Like I listen to it the whole shift, or I listen to it while I was doing. Like it's very nice. Like,
it's so crazy,
and it's very smooth to us because this is okay.
You guys usually talk like
and so from the perspective of Caleb and myself, and then I want to get back to the maintaining thing, and then that last point that I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
From the perspective of Caleb is Nick and I have kick-ass conversations. He has conversations that are really good with people, but we've very clearly stated with one another that these are very specific to our friendship, the conversations that we have.
You think you're able to have those conversations because of the friendship you have?
Of course. And I can have these conversations with other people, but there are obviously key components to mine and Caleb's that just they spark a different way than other people.
Set us apart from other
and
friendships.
it's not bashing anybody. It's
just a unique quality. There are other friendships where I can have
Exactly.
an amazing like fucking YouTube channel with or some shit like
and so we have this interesting dynamic between us. From Caleb's perspective is this is really cool. I just enjoyed these conversations, period. We would always leave each other's houses with like this fresh perspective, and we felt really good. From my perspective, it was all the same. Plus, hey, dude, why don't we put mics in front of us? I know what it's going to look like. I know what it's going to sound like because I have that. I've done creative projects before. With YouTube, you have to do the same thing where you have to talk about things in a past tense that you haven't done before, and just having that background.
See,
and
that's why I personally could never get into the vlogging thing. So I don't know if you guys noticed, like my friend Donovan has vlogs, and they're insane. Okay. And I thought about doing that, but it's hard. It's hard
very
to
hard.
Talk in the past tense.
And that's also why I wanted to get to the song thing that I was going to bring up. Is all these things are really fucking hard, but if you do them right, they're amazing. And then maintaining the podcast, as long as we maintain our friendship, that's all we need. That's literally all
everything
we
else
need.
Will work itself out.
Yeah, dude, if for some reason everything that I own here breaks, I will have the podcast back and running within days because I'll figure it out. Because I know that
we'll go all in.
But the whole point is like, yes, maintaining it is hard. 100%, dude. Casey Neistat is this big YouTuber.
I know Casey, yeah.
Okay, so Casey Neistat has a podcast with his wife. Fucking, it's great. It's called Couples Therapy. It's really fucking cool to listen to. It's them talking. It's them arguing. It's them talking about relationship struggles and all. Dude, they've been married, I think, 2 or 3 times. It's all this really cool shit on relationship advice, and you get to hear the raw, unedited version of them just like arguing sometimes. But they put out a podcast. Sometimes they take like month breaks, 2-month breaks. Maintaining it's fucking hard, and they always talk about it. It's hard to get together. So that's why, like,
as long as the relationship is stable,
and it's something I need to have a conversation with you, Tub, about, of just like, I'm never gonna be purposely rude about things, but if we ever run into like a hiccup where it's like, hey, we're running behind, or like, I need help with this, it's gonna come off rude.
No, be stern.
Due to the fact that to the fact that you need to get this shit done. Otherwise you start to fall off. And I've expressed that to you.
No, so I know. And I'm glad that you have that quality. I think it's a huge backbone of the reason why this works.
And that's what I want to maintain, and I hope to eventually allow you to be able to expand on that, because then we can continue this going.
I think it would be, I think the role relies on you much heavier, only because, not only because, but a big reason because like you have all the gear here. Your house is the spot we do it at. I think if my house was the spot we did it at, I knew how to do all the editing on my computer and I had all the gear, it'd be the same thing.
Of course. Flipped. And then when we live together, guess who's going to get more roles?
Oh fuck yeah, man.
And then we're going to start splitting things evenly. Now, with all that said, I just wanted to get to the point of just like starting something isn't hard. It's the same thing that we've expressed in past episodes of like starting to like be happy isn't hard. It's maintaining things that's hard. And so with and then I want to get to the song thing. I was gonna we branched off on a point like almost 30 minutes ago about Marlo plus Breach and E-40 and Diplo.
There's real extra on the tickets. Yeah. What about?
So and we can wrap that point up. I just want to come back to that because I'm largely interested in it. The fact that it was supposed to just be you, but it said Breach.
It's like
I mean, is this going to get you in trouble with your homies?
Bro, it's the big, it was the big break, like before the big break. Because before then, like we're just sitting in dudes' bedroom studios, garage studios. You know, I had a couple opportunities to get into like some high quality professional studios down in Studio City in Hollywood, and that wasn't me. Like it made me kind of feel uncomfortable. Like I didn't need, like, you know, because you realize you make high quality music in a bedroom, you don't need all this stuff. But it was around that time, and it was just like, I got this gig, and it was like the best way I know to pay my homies back for having my back, you know, all these years, whatever. These are my brothers.
Yeah.
Was like, put them on the show, put them on stage with me, put them on the ticket, like, you know, make it happen. But then, so you do that, and then you realize, you realize for sure, it's like, oh shit, like I put some of the wrong people on, or like some of these people were only, you know, with me for the, like, to be on this ticket, or to be on this stage, and all that. But like, you know, that's why I feel like we started with a solid group. Like we started with like just me and my 2 best friends. Like there was, you know, like that's what it's been. So it's pretty easy. Like, you know, like you said, like it's, you know, you need someone to get on you. Like, yo, why aren't you recording today? Did you write that verse? Did you write that verse? The tape has to be done. Like, you know, you need someone on you to get it done. So you say it's not hard to start, but I still think it's very hard to start. A lot of people get frozen in that, like,
you hit that like writer's block at the beginning.
Writer's block, like just like they're too scared of the potential of what they're going to create.
Okay, and that's why I say it's not hard to start, is because the only thing that's holding you back is you. That's it. That's literally it. And that's why
that can be hard in itself, though. I would
of
say.
course it can.
And it is,
but
bro. There's people with depression and like, you
no,
know.
and then
self-esteem issues. And stuff
but
like that.
you're adding in all those different things. But
once you take away that,
I'm talking about like when you just, okay, for example, I can get back into YouTube. I haven't yet. I've been very busy, but I can very easily start recording all the shit that I'm doing, which is what I'm planning on doing, is not making just a vlog style type thing, but like informational. Like I have a lot of knowledge now with the guy that I work with, and so on. I don't need to expand on that whole thing, but what I'm getting at is it is not hard for me to start recording. It's just either one, I forget, or like two, it's like maybe maybe right now I can't record those things. Maybe, you know, I had the ideas. It's like maybe I can't have the camera on me. Just pull out my phone and record it and have the video there. It's not hard to start something. It's just you're literally paralyzed by fear.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like you're not giving yourself enough credit.
Right. That's my point.
Like,
that is exactly my point.
Stuck.
Like you could very easily, like after this podcast, go home and start writing. Or you can sit there and be like, yeah, but I could write this instead. It would sound better this way. Just start fucking writing.
And
just start recording. Just start fucking, if you want to work out, start running, start working out. Like start somewhere and figure out where to go from there.
It's always easier to improve once you're already going.
That is my point.
And that's my thing. That's
and so
really
that's all I'm saying is that
you have nothing to improve on if you don't just go for it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. That's my point. And that's why I say it's not hard to start. You're just paralyzed by your own fear.
So start small if you have to.
You see, but you hit me. I mean, this is our first time meeting, but you strike me as a big planner. You strike me as a big, like you plan out a lot. You pre-plan before you plan, and then there's like
that's
pre-plan before you plan.
Like I swear, man, if you could meet Hazelwood, man, like I don't know, it just seems
eventually
very similar.
I plan to. That'd be dope.
In that planning process is where a lot of the work is done, where a lot of the details are crossed out, and like you dot your I's and cross your T's and all that good stuff before you even put anything hard down, because like there's so much to be played with, like in your head, like the vision, like you had to picture all of this before you could bring it, make it. So
my very first vlog was 8 minutes, 9 minutes. I can't remember. Maybe it might have been 11 or 12.
What were you doing in the vlog?
I went on a cruise with my ex. I think that was my first vlog.
Where'd you go?
The one to Catalina?
Yeah, the Catalina and
nice.
Where's the place in Mexico that you stop? El something. I can't remember. But
El something.
El something.
It's but it's a vlog that I put out, and like people are like, yo, this is dope. Like you actually did, fairly well with it. Like I can see how it can improve, but it didn't do poorly at all. I spent an entire week putting it together. But I mean, editing in general is very hard, but I didn't need to spend that much time doing it. It's just, I was like pre-planning during, before the cruise. It was recording during the cruise. It was everything that I was going to, you're right. I do pre-plan before I plan. Then
That's
I plan.
though.
Then I go in very cautiously and then I execute it.
Yeah. As it should be,
But it
that leaves no room for error.
But then there's still going to be those errors that you,
of course.
that's
and
the
then
crazy
Nick's
part.
like, oh, fucking God.
And that's where I get really hard on myself. But more recently in the past year, I've been very easy on myself with things like that, because I'm a human. I'm going to make mistakes. But
I'm a human.
Just barely.
So exactly. So with like this podcast, right? It was a lot of pre-planning of what we're going to do. We were coming up with all the different names like we brought up to you, which we still haven't talked about.
Yeah, we never dipped into the original name that we wanted to have for this.
Which was going to be Nights at the Round Table. Because it is a round table.
And
it was like
it's nighttime.
Nighttime. It was when we could record was nighttime.
That's literally what it would have been. It was like nights with an N rather than a K.
We actually talked about it in episode 0 and never got to talk about it again.
Yeah, the one episode that got deleted.
But we had all these different pre-plans, and then I realized in that moment, I was like, I'm not moving. I'm literally stuck. I'm stagnant in what I'm doing. I said, fuck it. And that's when I told Tub, and this is a part we did talk about, was I told him I'm buying the interface and we're starting in a week. Like a week from when it gets here.
And that was honestly like what I needed.
And
like
I
it takes a kick.
I was psyched.
It takes a kick.
And he was like, are you sure? And I said, I don't care if we don't have a name. We're recording something. And we did. And this is where we're at now. So with all of that, now that I've wrapped up on that point and we wrapped up on all the points, something you said that stood out to me was this podcast, what we do in, an hour to 3, 4 with Tessa's episode, you do in 3 minutes.
I try, but like no,
but no. The writing process, right? Like I used to write a lot. I don't write as much anymore. I just felt dude. I know how hard writing is. I know how hard it is to put a song together. And these are like emo fucking screaming lyrics that I used to write when I was.
They come from somewhere.
Versus where it's like
from somewhere deep inside.
You can continue certain notes out this way and take
especially
breaks
when
here.
You're screaming.
But with rap, you have to write either 2 or 3 times as many words for a song.
That's true.
That's why I feel
how fucking hard is that for you?
It's hard, but like that, I got better at it, and then I started like writing songs for people, and like I don't know, that became more interesting when I could like make money. Like when I like sold my first song, my dad specifically told me not to. Like he was like, "Don't sell your music," because I think I had a friend at the time who introduced me to her dad who was working at this record label, and he put me on payroll as a writer. So I'm writing for this guy for maybe like 2 months, and he puts my information and my email up on his site because he makes beats and he's an executive producer and all this stuff, right? Really nice guy. I was dating his daughter for a while. Things kind of fell apart. We stopped talking, but he never took my information off of his website. So I was like, oh, okay, like, he messes with me as a creator, like, respects the work I put in. But so when I was working for him originally, I sold my first like song for like $100. I was in school and I was broke, and I was like, yeah, like let's get some money, like why not?
That's
like,
fucking dope,
so that
dude.
exchange, like that was like mind changing to like that was
just opening a whole new like stream of income.
When you look back on it, do you go, oh shit, I sold a song for $100?
Oh yeah.
Because you said that and I cringed so hard. I was like, fuck, that's
my
cheap.
dad specifically told me not to, but it was just like a weird time.
Of course, you were much younger. How old
it's
were
good
you?
to learn from.
18. I'm 21 now. I was 18 at the time, but like I was trying to pay my rent like for myself at the time. I was doing these shows, opening up. Yeah, it was like when I was working for my coach at the time, like on like a side job doing landscaping and stuff like this. So I'm doing all this stuff, trying to scrape all this money together. But like, the rap thing's expensive. Like the studio time, you got to pay for beats. You're going to pay an engineer. The only benefit I get is I don't have to pay for my writing. So I think about like, I have some amazing best friends that'll give me crazy production for free. And like, all I have to do is tag them on the credits.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like, that was like writing's my thing. Like when I see my friends sit down and like, they're in a zone and they make this amazing beat, and I'm like, wow. Like I feel like I have to do that same thing with my words, which is a lot easier. I've always kind of taken a liking to writing, like words, English, all that. My first experience like with writing rhymes was poetry. Like it was like freshman year, it was like poetry, and I was like, this is like this. I get a grade for this. Like okay, cool.
Poetry was always so much fun.
Bro, it's amazing. Like like I can like tell you like the obvious ones, like Edgar Allan Poe's cool. I'm trying to think of like just
Robert Frost.
There's stuff they make you read, like
Shakespeare.
That freshman honors class, whatever it is.
Have you ever been to like a poetry night?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you ever been to a poetry lounge called DPL?
Is it out here
in LA?
No, I haven't.
It's called DPL. It stands for Duh Poetry Lounge.
No, I haven't.
And it's been going on since like the 90s, and it's this little shack right next to high school. Fuck, I forget which high school. I think it's Fairfax.
Oh,
Fairfax
it's right down there.
It's right next to Fairfax High School.
Well, that's the thing.
You park in their parking lot, and you walk down, and this place is
check that out.
packed, sold out every time. I think it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday night that they do it on. It's like $5 to $10 to get on. They have open mics, so you can get in and you can put your stuff out there. You literally could go up there and give the DJ a beat, and you could put one of your songs.
Because I feel like my music fits more in with like the poetry slams and like the open mic nights.
Let's go fucking do it one night, dude.
It used to be ritual for me.
You guys used to go all the time. I used to be jealous.
Every week. We would get ramen after at this bomb place called Tatsu Ramen.
Tatsu Ramen.
It's the
Tatsu Ramen,
it's
man.
So good, dude.
Yo, speaking of Tatsu Ramen, that's literally where I was out there one night. I was out there with my boy Skeezy, Donovan, and me.
Yeah.
Donovan offered to drive me and Skeezy, my homie, to our first show in LA. I booked us like a little show in Hollywood at like a bar with a friend of mine, like homie Benji. So he was gonna pay us like $200, and I was like, cool, just show up, like just do our thing on stage. I was like, cool. So Dom offers to take us down there because it's Miles' first show, and Miles like, yeah, no, I want to like smoke and just have a good time. So Dom offers like, he does not have to drive us down at all. Drives us down there. Show gets canceled, so we end up at Tatsu Ramen. I'm outside Tatsu Ramen. Literally devastated, mind you. I hate having to cancel shows. I hate not getting paid. I hate all of that. So we're sitting at Tatsu Ramen. And I'm like, Dom, bro, like, man, I want to go home. He's like, shut up, bro. We're getting ramen. And I was like, bro, I don't even have enough. How much is this? He's like, it's like $13. I said, bro, I have like $8. He's like, I'll spot you. So he spots me on ramen. We wait in this long line.
Dude, the line wraps around, bro.
Right? So we get it. This is gonna be worth it. We get outside of this little ramen shop because that's the only place they can sit us is outside in the outside area.
Yeah.
And then around the corner, I've said this name probably like 4 or 5 times already, but Xavier Wolf is sitting on this corner like smoking a cigarette.
No way.
Yeah. And I'm bummed out. I missed my freaking show, so I'm bummed out. And I'm looking, and I said, Don, is that? And then before I can say it, my homie Miles yells out. He said, Xavier, and he looks. He's out smoking a cigarette. And he looks. I'm like, come here, bro. What's up?
You come to us.
Yeah, he's like, come here, bro. And he was like,
wait, he told Xavier to come to you guys?
Yeah, because Dom had opened up for him before.
Oh, okay.
And this is like that's the thing you understand. Like, I don't know, it's like a certain pride. And like
yeah.
like you remember even if that guy doesn't know you opened for him, you know you opened for him.
Yeah, right.
And so you keep that in your head. So he's like, come here, because Dom's like, I met him before, bro. It's not even a big deal. Calls him over. He's like, what's up? Like, what are you doing right here? He's like, I'm trying to eat at this ramen shop, but I'm not waiting in this long ass line. And we're like, oh, like, respect that. Like, that makes sense. Cool, whatever. Because he had, like, on his SoundCloud, there's, like, this old album he dropped with the Tatsu Ramen place as the cover.
No way.
So he shows us this.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's like showing me his phone. Mind you, like, bro, oh my God. Like, I'm such a little, like, behind the scenes clout chaser, bro. Like, you have no idea. I'm sitting here, like, this is Xavier Wolf's phone. I'm like, this is, like, he's showing me his whole phone. I'm like, bro, just follow me on Instagram. Like, I'm thinking, like,
just follow him. It's right here.
I remember distinctly. But we had this conversation with him. He was trying to get in without waiting. The line's wrapped around the corner. He said, yeah, he's put the cigarette out. He's like, I'll be right back. I'm not waiting in this line. That's what he says. His manager comes around the corner, talks to the owner of the place, gets them in, right? They bring them inside to the outside area, like where we're sitting. And the waiter tells the same dude that sat us down is like, hey, like, they're sitting with you guys if anybody asks. And okay. Like, all right, cool, whatever. Yeah, cool. So they're sitting like 3 feet away from us, and they're technically like at our table, right? So I'm like, well, I'm not missing out on this opportunity, like, you know. So I pick up my food. I'm like, bro, let's go. Let's sit closer next to Xavier and his manager. Yeah. Bro, we gotta go. So I'm sitting down next to them. Dom is talking to him, telling him that like he opened for him at this one show, and I remember the show specifically. I couldn't be there. But my old manager took Donovan and a few other actors from out here, a few other guys from out here to the show, and they went into Xavier because at Novo you can kind of like you can go into the main act's dressing room. Like, it's not a big deal. They don't care. It's kind of like a big party. So upstairs there's 2 green rooms for the both opening acts, and downstairs there's the main act, right? So Donovan, at the time, my manager decided to go into his green room and eat all the sandwiches and drink a bunch of his food and water.
Oh
and
my God.
all this shit, and he was pissed. So Don brings up that show to Xavier, and he like kind of remembers, and I'm like, bro, if anything, he remembers, and he's pissed like that.
Yeah,
you ate
right.
all this. But like that was just a funny thing, and I was like, yeah, you can't. Like, people from Palmdale aren't gonna change no matter where you take them. Like, you gotta come up. Like, we're desert rats. It's just what we do.
We're desert rats.
But yeah, that was at Tatsu Ramen. That's why the whole reason I brought that story up. It was crazy to meet Xavier at the time, because like I knew like a couple people that had known him, but I hadn't met him yet. And he was such a cool, like, positive dude. And he was so nice. And I'm like, that's like what I want to be like. If someone has a memory of meeting me somewhere, I want it to be like really positive.
Yeah,
so they
man.
could, you know, tell it on a podcast one day.
I mean, I know
Exactly.
it's minuscule in scale, but I mean, my first impression of you, how I'm gonna remember you, is a good memory.
Bro, I'm happy.
this is dope to me. I really
this is really dope.
and
Like,
this is why I love this shit, dude. I get to
Exactly.
meet fucking people and hear your stories just because I ask you, hey, do you want to come sit with a microphone in front of your face?
and talk.
Bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
dude,
is
and like already, like in the middle of you guys talking to each other and everything, I was already envisioning like how you guys would interact in the future when you see each other, because now you have like this dope ass first encounter to like lay the foundation of a friendship.
I already feel like you know more about me than like most people, like on average, just because like how much.
Some
And
people know more.
you know, just hearing like just you listening to our podcast, you know more about us than a lot of
that's
people.
true.
Like it's trippy to think that a lot
We're
of people
getting to a
know
point
us.
now, like very slowly. And when I say we're getting to a point, I mean it's only been like 2 months since we started this, I think. But where people will just be like, "Yo, I know this, that, and this," and I'm like,
How?
"Oh fuck yeah, that's right.
That's
I forgot
out
we
there.
said all
That's
that
out
out
there.
there.
Like that's out
It's
there.
out
now.
there."
Yeah.
And like and this is something I always talk about is like 100 episodes in, 200 episodes in, whatever. Even if it's just 100 people listening, there's eventually going to be people out there that are going to know things about us that we completely fucking forgot.
Entirely.
And I'm like, oh shit,
it's gonna be weird because we're gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, I feel like I've been there before. They're like, you were there with this person. I'm like, shit, yeah.
Like, how do you remember better than me? But
exactly.
So one of the things that I had mentioned to you before we started recording was the whole like, not if you blow up, it's when you blow up.
Do you remember my response? I think I was just kind of like, yeah, like. If when like it's all the same to me. Like,
was it yeah more of like a sure, or was it more of like
it's
at some point
you could say, like it's something you could say, like it's not if, it's when I blow up. Like yeah, you could say that, like yeah
you can definitely I say the whole not if when because confidence.
Oh yeah,
not cockiness, it's confidence. It's basically speaking it out into the universe that one day you're going to get to where you want to, and not blow up of popularity. Just blow up of like getting your music where you want your music to be.
And I love that you said that too, because like that's what I'm realizing, like slowly but surely, like it hasn't been so much about like the streams or like the millions of plays that I'm gonna get. It's like the reactions I'm getting to the quality of music I'm dropping now.
Yeah.
Like that's what gets me more excited. Like if I have one person tell me they listen to a song 10 times versus like if I have 10,000 people listening to the song once and then they add it to their Spotify.
That's a good ass point.
Yeah.
So like I look at it like that. But when in terms of like now or later or if and when, like that sort of thing, I feel like I feel like I've known a lot. I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of people younger than me, older than me, that have like maneuvered and found their way to make somewhat of a living at this. Like, whether it's underground rap, SoundCloud rap, Apple, Spotify, Coachella performances, like DJing, whatever. I've met a lot of successful people, and they're not shy to like give me their like their tips and their cues. But like we said before, no one's ever, anyone successful is not going to give you everything that they know.
Right.
That's, that's what we talked about earlier. But when it comes, sorry, I lost track. But when it comes to like if and when, it's just like, I feel like I meet someone and I know. Like I meet someone, I shake your hand, I hear your music, and I can tell like if this is something you're doing because you want a couple followers, or it's just like this is in you and like you're gonna do this.
It's your passion.
You're gonna do this if Instagram gets deleted tonight. Like, you're still gonna be making music.
That's a good.
And I feel like that's the biggest thing for me. Like, and a lot of any rapper that you meet out here.
I think I remember now what you messaged me about.
Oh, like the actual what I said about the podcast?
Yeah, because you messaged me and it was about how we both had the same vision when it came to reinvesting in our own city that we grew up in.
Bro, like,
because he was like, you were like, I heard that, and you were like, I didn't know other people had that same.
No, like why would you? Like, like you don't.
Everyone trashes the place, right?
You have no reason to. But like, my biggest thing of being out here is just like, it's so hard to find a venue.
Okay, go ahead.
No. It's so
please.
hard to find a venue. So I'm always brainstorming with my manager. Like, like there's all these closed down restaurants around the mall and all this stuff. We want to open something so bad, either a venue around there, like a drive-in theater, just something like, like dope. Buy some property out here and just turn it around, like make it like entertainment. Because right now there's nowhere to really go to perform out here. That's why it's dead. That's why you catch us in LA or like,
Like the closest venue to us is like an hour away that people actually go to, because we used to have venues out here. We had
they all got shut down.
The fuck is the one on the boulevard?
I thought you were gonna say Moose Lodge.
Moose Lodge is Moose Lodge was the most recent one that was around.
Yeah, and they shut down completely.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they shut down completely or if they just don't have shows there anymore. They might have shut down completely. I mean, I know it was dying, but that was the last place I went to for like a hardcore show.
Oh, okay.
Because like that's one of the points when I got excited when you said a venue, was because back in the day when I was like in bands and we all there was Moose Lodge, there was Industry Theater, there was I forget the one on the boulevard, but
it's not Cedar Center, is it?
Cedar Center.
Yeah.
Okay, so like those were the main three, right? And now that those are all gone, I remember thinking back then and even now, like, fuck, dude, when I get money, I want to just open up a venue so that people can just have shows.
I was gonna say, like, you know how dope it would be, like to not kind of pull the whole like idea of like blow up and then tell everyone you're from LA thing.
See?
And just what you're saying. Blow up and tell everyone you're from Lancaster or Palmdale, and then just to have like, say like 10 years down the road or whatever, or less than that, someone's like, oh shit, like Lancaster Palmdale, that's the place where that rapper Marlo's from, and like that podcast that blew up is from, and like this like clothing line that blew up is from.
Who's the basketball or football or baseball? I can't remember.
Paul George is from out here.
Paul George.
Yep.
Paul George is from out here.
He gave some money back to his high school too, I remember.
Yeah, Paul George is from out here. There's been professional baseball players that are from out here. Childish Gambino was born on Edwards Air Force Base.
Hairzoid made that exact same point.
He's from out here.
Bro.
Granted, he grew up in Atlanta, I believe.
I don't know.
But the fact that like this was where he was born. I don't know how long he lived out here, but he
was like a baby and
never. Like it's never. But it's never even brought up. Like he's just like I'm from Atlanta. I was like raised in Atlanta. He probably has said I was born and raised in Atlanta. But if you look it up,
he was born.
Was it Paul George that made the whole like jacket with the NASA? Somebody made a jacket recently with either NASA or Edwards, and they had like Palmdale's logos, something.
Really? I didn't know. I don't know.
Oh, I have to pull that up. I honestly cannot remember the person who did it. But
that's what I was getting at with like the whole venue thing. Like it would be so dope to have like people from out here, like clothing lines, musicians, artists, like creative projects to blow up, and then people to reinvest. Like imagine like just like people who like us, like who have like a vision of making this place a better place. Get the money and like we make our own venue out here, because like the population of Palmdale is 157,000 people, and the population of Lancaster is 160,000.
The population of the Antelope Valley is over 500,000.
Yeah, you have.
I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that.
There's a sign coming in from Mojave that the AV has over 500,000 people here.
That's 500,000 people out here. Bakersfield has a college, for fuck's sake. We don't have shit. We have AVC, and that's about it, and UAV. And so, like, the thing is, like, we have potential to make this place like an actual city on the map. And rather than people just like using this place for the community that's supportive, getting their like gain to fame and then dipping, reinvesting out here, putting it on the map, and then can you imagine like turning this city into like actually like a tour spot for bands? Like you see like the thing, and it's like Los Angeles, Lancaster, San Diego.
Weren't the Plain White Tees out here? Like
Plain White Tees are out here on the boulevard.
Wasn't it New Year's?
Yeah. It was. I think it was New Year's. Yeah, and so like it's crazy to think that like you go out here, like you turn the Palmdale Amphitheater into an actual place where people can perform, or you create an indoor one, right? Something like what's the place, like the Grove?
The Grove,
I believe, in Anaheim. Yeah, like you turn it, you just open up a spot out here, start hitting up different band managers, and be like, hey, we have 500,000 people out here, and half of them, if they enjoy a artist like you in particular, whoever we're talking to, will drive an hour and a half out to LA through traffic to see you.
It starts expanding the like area itself, because like the closest place that, well, other than LA, that they have shows at, especially with bands and artists and all sorts of different fucking people, is Bakersfield. And it's like, okay, I know that where we live is not the greatest, but Bakersfield,
exactly.
Let's not cast stones. Yeah, Bakersfield's dead.
Let's not cast stones, but they fucking.
I got homies in Bakersfield.
No, Bakersfield. Like the people are cool.
What I'm saying, I'm not bashing Bakersfield. I'm saying Bakersfield is more dead than here.
Yeah,
and they still have shit out there.
And like, and the thing is, like, if say we bring out like a band like and like, I don't know what kind of music you listen to outside of rap and hip hop, but like
Tees.
Plain White Tees.
Me and my team have literally talked about bringing them out here again this summer,
dude.
Like Breach X Plain White Tees, because it's like, why not?
That would be so fucking cool.
Why not?
But where?
That's the thing. We have a couple at Cedar Center. That's the thing. I didn't know if you know. Cedar Center's back open for business. I don't know about the ska shows and like the.
Do you know how small the Cedar Center is?
It's very small.
It's very small. For Plain White Tees, did you see what happened
on
the boulevard?
How many people even came out to the last one?
I don't know.
They filled the streets.
Where were they?
Oh shit!
Like,
I mean, I know it was
they played it where Bex was, right?
Oh,
yeah. But like, even I get that it's the Plain White Tees, and maybe some people care, some people don't. But like, Cedar Center
will go.
Cedar Center is like, I don't know, dude. I'd say maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500, maybe 2,000 square feet. It's not that big.
Okay, so but like, imagine, right? We open up a venue out here and we get like a band in our genre of music that like a lot of people know, like The Story So Far.
Yeah.
We get them to come out here and play. Do you know how many people, not only from this valley alone, but from Santa Clarita, from LA, from Bakersfield, from all these different spots would drive an hour out here to go see that band because they realize it's that much closer?
But it also depends on the venue, because I don't know if you know this,
where you can fit that many people.
Asking Alexandria was out here. Alisana. They played when they first started. When they first came to like America, they played out here in Palmdale at some venue that closed down like immediately after. Asking Alexandria played out here. Of Mice and Men played out here. I went to the I went to the Of Mice and Men show. A band called Secrets played out here. A bunch of fucking big name bands. Sleeping with Sirens played out here.
Huh?
You didn't know that?
No.
Where? At Industry Theater. Industry Theater is now a fucking charter school.
Wow.
That's how much people don't care about the scene out here.
But you see what I'm saying? Yeah, like it's hard.
But Sleeping with Sirens, I think, is one of the biggest bands that came out here, and the reason I say them is just because like that's like the fucking fangirl extravaganza type of concert.
Everyone loves Kellen Quinn.
Yes,
go crazy.
So the point is like they played out here. And half these bands were like basically telling them like we'll never play out here again.
Whoa.
Yeah, because there's nothing out here. But you have to take into consideration that industry theater, although it was a bigger venue, didn't have the greatest security. A lot of the time there was sketchy shit with money that I heard about, but that's all hearsay. Like I don't know. But like if you have the right management and the right venue and the right planning and the pre-planning and just
pre-planning, the execution,
always pre-plan your planning.
But all those different things, as long as the venue looks good and everything sounds good, dude, fuck yeah, you could pull it off.
Yeah,
but I think it would be even fucking cooler because to do that on your own or to do that with just two people would be hard. But to do that with multiple people, that everyone can invest in it and have like a co-ownership to something, and yes, that becomes very tricky too. But if everybody was just like, yeah, we're going to pitch in X amount of money, put my name on a plaque, and whoever can control it controls it. That's how you would get it started
rolling. Like we said, just even if you start slow.
There's a fucking grocery store
closed down.
That closed down.
And the one by Submachine?
No,
that's a mattress place
on
L and
20th. It used to either be a Stater Brothers or
yeah. By like the Pizza Hut out there and everything.
Big ass area.
That's true.
The old Walmart used to be a big ass area. Now it's a Burlington coat factory.
Yeah.
Like that took fucking over 10 years.
That took a long time.
But the point is like those are buildings that are available. I've fucking dreamt about this since I was like 15. I'm like, dude, when I get money, I want to fucking do that shit for like, I know the music's going to change, obviously, but like, I want to do that for future generations. I think that would be such a sick idea.
Bro, owning a venue, like I would tell you straight up, if there is a single entrepreneur, rapper / event thrower, whatever you are, get your own venue. Because we have thrown, I don't know how much money into the pockets of these people that own these places. Yeah. Like, first you need to rent the place out. First things first. Then come ticket sales, then comes booking your openers, and then come all the little details and all that stuff. But yeah, bro, if you have your own venue, man, like that's power. Like, owning land in general. Like, that's
it
like
is.
the PEC Center?
PEC?
Or the PEC, whatever the fuck that is. It used to be a roller rink. And now it's
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't know what it was called.
It's by Jethawks and
yeah,
Cinemark.
what was it called? Not Club Soda. It was called something else.
But now it's called the PEC Center or PEC, PE Center, whatever the fuck.
A friend of mine rented that out for a birthday.
That's a big ass area.
It was huge.
When I was a kid, that was a roller rink, and that was the fuking shit. I had a birthday party there, or friends did. I just remember going there, and I was like, this is the fucking shit. And when it first got bought out to become the PEC or PEC Center, whatever the fuck it was called, it was supposed to be the venue. Everybody talked about it. Like, oh shit, they're buying this. This is now going to be a venue. This is where we're going to have concerts. And it became nothing. Like
it's
now
just
they have
a
events
center
there, but it's like a center that not a lot of people buy out. And it's just like, what happened? I have no idea what happened to that
why
place.
Do you think that? Why do you think that is though? Like with venues in general in the AV, like they don't. If they are good for a while, they don't last long.
Literally couldn't tell you.
I don't know
no
either.
idea. I know a lot of it with industry theater had to do with money and sketchy things. And I know a lot of people, somebody got sick. I think some owner got sick. I think somebody ended up passing away. I honestly don't know.
Honestly,
it's just
I know
a lot of rumors.
Sure, what is it? Moose Lodge. Moose Lodge for sure. I believe I had just graduated high school, and then Jaquan Jackson and Thank You Gang, they threw a show there. They threw a hip hop show there at Moose Lodge, which I didn't know at the time was strictly like a rock venue, maybe a little bit of country venue. I had no idea. So I get there, it's Lancaster, so like everybody's out. I'm not. All the hoodlums is out. They was out there. I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is before I ever threw my first show. We were just making music. We pulled through. We show love. See Quan, see everyone, and then the thing gets shut down because people are smoking weed inside. Owner doesn't play that. Canceled. Boom. Whole thing over. Next week, I want to say, we called Moose Lodge trying to get a hold of them for a rap show. They don't want to hear it. They're like, no, the last rap show we had here didn't go well, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. They're not having it. So it seems like a lot of times, like with venue, it comes down to reputation. Like it really comes down to like.
Well, it sounds like it comes down to ownership.
Yeah.
Because like if we own some shit, we wouldn't give a fuck.
I mean, that's where problems come in though. Like all the different problems where it's like,
But like
you can.
every venue has that shit though.
But would it be 18 and up? Is it all ages?
Every venue has rules that everybody breaks.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
It's not that they don't give a shit. It's that who are they going to stop?
No, I know. And what I'm saying is like you get that shit happen and then you're going to end all rap concerts there.
Yes.
That's such a huge fucking.
I mean, Moose Lodge is very tiny. And they didn't, I don't know how big their budget was, but you have to think like they didn't have a lot going on there. And I'm just taking, this is all speculation, but you're very tiny. You don't have a lot going on there. You probably don't have a lot of people coming in. You don't have a lot of income. You get one thing that could potentially shut you down. Yeah. You're not going to have that shit around anymore.
And it probably it wasn't legal back then either.
No, where
whole different aspect.
So like,
not to mention this was like a high school crowd. Like this is,
and I'm stressing the fact I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about.
That was pretty accurate. Like I haven't been to Moose Lodge in years,
but now I don't know where Moose Lodge is, and there's just all those different things that come into play. But as for your music, right? Mm-hmm. So are you doing more stuff with you, or you and Breach, or Breach as a whole? Like, is it you plus them? What is it?
Well, that's the beauty of it. Like as a collective, I feel like we all kind of, there's four of us. It's like, like I said, like life happens. There's things going on in everyone's life individually. I feel like the four of us, no matter if one person is a little more focused on school at the time, another person is a little more focused on music, another person has some family things to handle, and so on and so forth. We're always someone's moving.
Yeah.
Always. Like that's something we make sure of. Like someone is always moving. Someone's always working. We're always pushing one artist project that's dropping next, like say in the summer or something like that. Yeah. Like Dork the Ghost is dropping a project this summer. So we're all going to put our marketing behind that, and we'll make sure like that's the main focus of the collective for the summer. We treat it like our own project. And then, like only other thing I'm working on right now for myself is my birthday show, which is supposed to be June 14th in Ventura. We're supposed to be doing a show out there. I'm trying to have a bigger artist come out, like, to bring.
Did you say June 14th?
June 14th, yeah.
Fucking on my phone. I think that may be I'll have to look, but that may be the same because you talked about Caleb Lewis Henderson. Yeah. I think that was the date we planned for his open mic.
What?
I think either June 14th or June 21st.
Oddly enough, because I remember that podcast, and you were saying, whenever it is, we'll be there. Right? Whenever we'll be there. Yeah. I remember in my head, like, I'm going to be there. Bro, stand-up is not easy. Actually, the only other podcast I've been on was a friend of mine named Manny Ponders. And I met him. He went to Palmdale High School, Manny Ponders, and he ended up getting into stand-up later on in college.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so I went down to see his first show I want to say it was at, like, the Laugh Factory or some Flappers. It was at Flappers. Okay. Very, like, famous comedy club. Manny Ponders did a set there. It was great. We went with my homie Antoine, and we went and checked him out. Stand up makes rapping look like a joke. You know how hard it is to stand up there and, just put your material out there for people.
No music to follow,
to
just
love
you.
or hate. There's no beat for them to rock to if they're not like what you're saying. You have to be
pure material to win over the crowd.
You have to be funny.
Yeah.
And like this, but I feel like he would kill it just because I listened to that whole podcast and I haven't listened to that many of them entirely. I listened to the entire thing. Yeah. He knows how to tell a story. He knows how to talk. He knows how to keep things interesting and cut out like the boring parts, if you will. Stand up is not easy, but it's something I've always wanted to like incorporate like into my rap shows just a little bit, but not in a way that's corny or like people are just like, bro, I paid to
have like a good stage presence.
That's what it comes down to, and that's what I realized too. Because at my first show, I remember U-PHORIA, I finished the show, coming from backstage, my dad's there talking to me. And he's giving me pointers, this, that, and the third. And he came to a lot of my first like openers. He came to a couple of them. So he's always giving me pointers, and he would say, "Oh, your back is to the audience too much, or you're doing like something. You have to interact with the crowd more." And
it sounds like he really cares.
That's a good coach, dude.
Bro, my dad's amazing. Like,
yes, he sounds like it,
bro. Greatest guy on the entire planet. Like, I mean that. Like, my dad has supported me through anything, everything, every fuck up, every flop, every fail. He's been there. Like, he's held it down no matter what.
Yeah, dude, that's cool.
No matter what.
That.
But he's very honest too. Like, he's not gonna bullshit me.
That's what you need, man.
Yeah. So he would just give me little tips here and there, like about the shows and like stage etiquette and what to do and get people involved. I realized like the more I just stopped thinking about it, like the more fun I was having with it, like, because people see you and they're just like, why would I give this person my energy, my attention, my anything? I'm waiting for this other guy because opening is like so different than throwing your own show.
Yeah, exactly. Because openers, most of the time, you're like, all right, get on with it. I'm trying to see the headline.
That's why I ask a lot of my friends. Like, I had a friend that went to the Knocked Loose concert, and she was like, oh, yeah, there's a couple openers. I was like, do you know any of the openers? She was like, no, not really. And then I asked her about it later. I was like, were any of the openers good? And she was like, yeah, like the people like right before they came out were really good. I don't know. I feel like because it's one of those things, it's one of those opportunities where you can catch someone off guard. Because, you know, if you've been to a concert, which it was funny, I didn't start going to concerts until I started opening up. So
that's so crazy. You started performing at concerts before
backwards, where I feel like I would have been a lot better off having that like experience in the crowd.
Yeah,
that, you know,
because then you know how they think.
You know, you get it more. Like you just get into it more. But I was so like, I don't know, just so like
yes and no. Only because like if you're out in the crowd, right, and you develop the thoughts when somebody fucks up. When you get on stage, if you fuck up, you know that they're thinking that bad shit that you were thinking in your head. But, so maybe honestly, I don't know. Maybe it worked out for you the way that it did, where you don't have the most speculation on what they think.
Well, it's because right after I started opening, I started going to shows. I started spending my money on concerts. I wanted to see some of my favorite artists.
Both backgrounds. Okay,
so I want to see my favorite artist. You know, do what I'm doing. Like, what's the difference? Why do I not have thousands of people screaming? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I watched the thing, and I observed like certain things. Like I made up in my head entirely, like completely, just like the whole social media thing is. But like, you know, like there's something I like to call like star power that an artist has, or your favorite band has, or your favorite anyone has. And I noticed it like it's like that ability. Like when you hop on the mic, your music comes on, and then they hear your voice. How many people turn to the stage?
Yeah.
How many people are immediately drawn to what you're doing? And you see a lot of people like learning, just like I am, like coming up in like underground. It's like, what are you going to do that's going to make people look at you and think anything other than this guy? Like, you know, like other than next. You know?
Yeah.
People do crazy things with their hair. They wear crazy things. They scream crazy things. They get face tattoos. You know, you do the whole nine. But at the end of the day, I feel like once you're on that stage, like majority of the time, like people are listening, and like people are listening more than they are when you send them the link through Twitter or Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
When you're on that stage, like, you know, they see you as a person. Like you're a whole.
Yeah.
That's your best exposure you can get.
Yeah. So I've had some really good experience opening for crowds that I like, you know, because you got to find your demographic. And like, yeah, I've had some really good experiences opening for people. I've had some really bad ones because it's like I didn't do my research and I didn't even look up the artist I was opening for.
Oh shit,
bro! We've had some flops. We've also had some amazing shows, and it just comes from experience. So I feel like at this point, like that's the thing. Like I got tired of doing business with these shady ass promoters and getting half of my money. When it's like, bro, at this point, I could do it myself. I can get the venue. I can book openers. You know, I can get an MC. Like, bro, we had K-Tub at our first ever show, like MCing.
Wait, was that the show that what's his name? Who's the fucking political friend?
J-Hots.
He performed. You did that whole show. You MC'd it.
Yeah.
Why did I not know that?
I've MC'd two. I MC'd the first one, and then I MC'd the Hot Scala in his backyard.
The Hot Scala, that's so sick.
It was so much fun.
Bro, like that is it, like that gives me like better. I don't know, man, because like I did my set, talked to Jordan's family after, and they're like, I liked your set. You weren't like using like vulgar words or anything like that. Like I really like I can hear what you're saying. Like you need to get a song with Jordan. And it's just like that's the stuff that hits me the hardest because like when my family likes my music, like that makes me happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know why.
That's dope.
Especially because like I started making this music and we would like make songs like specifically like, all right, let's not cuss so we can show our parents this song. Because, you know, we were making music when we were like 13 or whatever.
Yeah.
We would make it and we would be like, all right, let's not cuss so we can make it. And I remember all my friends turning 18 one summer because I'm like 2 years younger than most of my best friends. And I was like, they were like, yeah, we're cussing now. We're cussing on our tracks. We don't care. I was like, wait.
But wait.
I was like, what about?
I'm very poetic. I don't cuss.
So it was like, it was definitely interesting, like how we came into it. I feel like now, like literally, like, bro, I hop on a mic, I gotta be me. Like, you're gonna hear something corny. You're gonna hear something probably sweet. I'm probably gonna say something about a girl. And like, that's just me. Like, that's just
that's good,
No,
dude.
hell yeah. Wear that shit like fucking proud, dude.
I'm a very big proponent of transparency. Whether in any creative field. I mean, being a transparent person and just being honest and like true to who you are, it makes it literally lures people in more.
Yeah, because that authenticity is attractive.
But I've also done a lot of research when it comes to like marketing and like stuff like that. There's also, to a certain point, it starts to come like at your detriment when you're putting yourself out there so much. Like, this is me. Here's my face. Here's my music. Love me, hate me. Like, that's it. That's how you're putting it out there. Then there's like that. There's that aesthetic. There's like that mysteriousness to it where like people they hear your music, but there's no face attached.
Yeah,
Just
it
weird
leaves
name.
that like enigma.
You know, yeah, and there's kind of so I've been exploring that side too, like like dropping projects under like monikers that aren't Marlo.
No
like
way.
I'm trying, like I'm getting out
like
there.
That.
And just drop because like you never know what's gonna catch, and that's the thing about the internet. You never know.
I mean, Lil Nas X is a perfect fucking example of that shit.
Like I watched his. I think I watched. He didn't have a Breakfast Club. Yeah, he had a Breakfast Club interview, I believe, and he was just talking to them, or Big Boy. He had a Big Boy interview.
Okay.
And he was talking to them about how it caught on, and he promoted it for 6 months organically. And this is when it actually hit me. That point I made, I said, when you're really successful, you don't tell everyone everything you know. The way he explained it, like it was completely organic, natural, no label signing, nothing. But like you just know there's more. If you're smart, and if you're consciously trying to learn from people about how to market your music and how to push it, there's something missing from that formula that Nas did, because he dropped Old Town Road, promoted it for 6 months, then TikTok took a hold of it, and then there was a dance, so on and so forth. It just becomes this crazy, and it just snowballs, which sounds fine. Yeah. It sounds perfectly fine to a normal fan, listener, anyone even do. But I just look at it deeper than that. Like marketing, especially nowadays on the internet, is insane. And it comes down to a dollar bill, because you can always purchase that #1 spot on Twitter for trending.
Yeah.
You can always purchase it. It's just a dollar amount to get it. Doesn't matter how relevant it is. Doesn't matter how angry it makes people. It's just, if you have the money, you can get that top spot. And I didn't even know that till recently.
I didn't know that either.
It's very interesting. So it's like, a
lot of times people don't even notice when you swipe over, like when you go to the search tab,
it says promoted,
and the top tweet, like the most, like the big one that gets a picture, because there's like all the list of trending tweets, and then there's the like #1 one at the top that has a picture. A lot of those are ads.
But a lot of people, a lot of movie companies use it the majority of the time, because like that's who can afford it. But I always think about that, and I'm just like, I feel like Nas like is organic as he can be, because industry plan is something that gets thrown around a lot nowadays. But like, it's like, if that's the case, man, I'm hoping in like 3 months time, 4 months time, 5 months time, people are like, Marlo's an industry plan. Because there's that transparency to it. Like, I'm open to talk about everything, but then there comes that like the stuff we're not allowed to talk about. Like that behind the scenes, like funding is a big part
because like
of it.
the big thing that you were talking about is like, don't share all the different secrets and whatnot.
Well, that's my dad. My dad tells me that, and I'm like, but knowledge is power.
But the thing is like, you can share. Okay, so how I see people's success and sharing like the stuff that they did to get to where they are is, you can share that stuff, and you made a good point. That doesn't mean everyone's going to go follow it. They have to have the drive to follow it. And even if you, let's just like get it down to the small niche of people that do decide, let's just say like 5 people are like going to copy exactly what that person did. Not only does it not, just because they have the knowledge doesn't mean and do every single step that they were told to do, it doesn't mean it's going to work, because it was specific to that person and that time frame and all the different aspects that play into that.
Yeah.
So I feel like sharing the knowledge not only gives the transparency aspect that people love, and then you're giving back to the community, quote unquote, whoever you're speaking to at that moment, but it doesn't screw you in any way, at least how I see it, because you've already done it. So honestly, what is that going to do to you?
See, and that's my biggest thing, because I'll have friends ask me, because like like that they know that the event planning is what I love to do, like coordinating the events and all that good stuff. They'll ask me, like a friend will throw a show, or like I'll do a partner event with like someone in San Fran, but I won't go. Like I'll just put funding towards the show, and I won't go, and like the show's decent or it's a success, whatever it is. I have a lot of friends that'll say like, oh, like, are you worried like that they like that now that you like you showed them, they're gonna like take over, or like
or like cut you off.
Yeah, but my whole thing, if someone can do what I've been doing the past 2-3 summers better than me, then that's just what it is. Like that's how it
like
should
maybe
be.
at some point they deserved it.
And
that's
me
the thing
and that
too,
guy
is
need to partner up and get to it, because at the end of the day, like
partner up with them because they know shit you don't.
Yeah, I love the event planning and all that, but like I'm looking at like I do need to dedicate more time to the music, because I spend so much time just like
with the other aspects related to it.
Place to place, and I love it all, because like when it comes together at the end of the day and you have a good show and all your openers are happy, like bro, all your openers, nobody feels like they got a bad set time, everyone's happy, like people's families, that's when I get excited, and I'm like, yes,
it's a success.
Like
that's good. And I feel like good people that have those good vibes that follow behind them when everyone's just having a good time, you feel like that's successful. I would like to hope that those people become successful, because that's what you need more in the industry. But it's just, it's dope to me, dude.
But then you throw in those other, I appreciate that. But like you throw in those other components, like now I have a manager, and he looks at the books from our last 2 shows, and he's like, well, you never received X amount of money from so and so, or you never checked up on these ticket returns here. What happened here? Like it's the little things that I always wanted to get my dad involved in, like being my business manager, because he's gonna take better care of you than like
Yeah, exactly right.
But like I don't know, like it was just something that to a certain point, like the fact that my dad respected what I was doing, like you know what I mean, like he respected what I was doing.
That's a huge thing.
It just made me want to keep doing it on my own.
Yeah,
that's
a
cool
lot
dude.
of times, like I hear about people who like start a creative project or want to follow a dream, and their parents shoot it down.
Bro, it's hard. It's
like
so
that's a
hard.
really good point. I didn't even think about the fact that like you have your parent literally supporting your dreams, going to your shows, giving you the constructive criticism, when the majority of people
like,
in the world, creative artists, really anybody, their parents don't support them on things that the parents don't agree with. Like, does your dad, like, did he agree with this from the get-go, or was it something where he was just like, even though you want to do it, I'm going to support it, even if it's not something I don't?
My first opening up to my parents about music at all, I think it was on Christmas. And I made my mom a song, put it on a CD, and I played it for the whole family.
That's so fucking sick.
I love that, man.
It was so smooth. But like you gotta understand,
was so smooth.
You gotta understand, like that song was made for my mom to enjoy. Like like I knew she was gonna listen to it because I made it with my boy Vincent. He made the whole beat. He helped me with the hook a little bit, and I wrote my first verse. And like that dropped while I was still in high school. I was still like a senior in Highland, and we dropped that song. And my mom really loved it. She cried, and like my grandparents were there, and like the whole like, oh, you have a gift, and this, that, and the third, like not even like that was it. And
This,
then
that, and a third. I'm sorry, I love that though.
like, that was the
that's
song.
something that Tim says too.
Yeah,
you know Tim.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I love Tim. That's probably where I picked it up.
You
That's
kept
probably where I
okay
picked it up,
because
honestly,
that motherfucker says it all the time, and you said it, and I was like, he knows Tim.
Yeah.
That's all it was. I was like, he didn't come up with that on his own.
That's such a catchy saying. I like
Shout out
that.
Red
If
Face.
you start saying, I'm gonna stab you, because Tim says
it
literally
a lot.
with everything, dude.
I
He
fucking
called
like
me
it, bro.
last night, and he was just like, yo, blah 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 blah. This, that, and the third, and I'm like, that's the 40th time I've heard it from you this week.
Shout out Red Face.
Shout out Red Face.
But yeah. So the song dropped on Christmas. It was awesome. Like my family was supporting me. It's great. And then I go off to college. I started doing my own thing. Started dropping music, college music, frat music, mind you. Like,
shit.
Damn.
Different music than like what my mom would love to listen to. My parents have always been like, my parents are probably the first people to play music when I drop it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bro,
That's so
Dude,
cool
you have
to have
such
that support.
Yeah, I was just
they'll
gonna
hit
say.
me. My mom will hit me. She'll send me now we've got it like she'll send me a song when it's like she'll send me a new song and be like, this is my new favorite or something like that.
Wow.
And then my dad only recently, because me and my dad like we'll go.
He's
we'll
like, this
go.
one sucks the least, son.
No, my
The
dad likes
least.
all my stuff, but what'll he say? Like he'll say stuff like not even about the lyrics. Like he's just real, because he was actually really close with Nipsey Hussle's mom.
What
Wow.
the fuck?
Really close. They actually like worked together. But so Nipsey had passed away, and I'm minding my business. I'm up in San Fran, like whatever I was doing at the time. I'm waiting for a train. I get a call from my mom, my grandma, and my dad. And I already saw the Nipsey news, and I was like, damn. But my dad talks to me on the phone about it for a while, and he's like, honestly, I feel like, because he's known her in the family for a while. He's like, honestly, I feel like I lost a son today. And I was like, damn, like I'm good. Like I'm chill. Nipsey was the GOAT. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm the type of person, like, I don't know if you guys know if you're close with, like, if you liked Peep or X or Fred, any artist to really die, like in the past year, I just keep it pushing. Like, because it's like at the end of the day, like I have to make, like I was inspired.
Yeah.
I have to keep making
It's not
this
that
music.
you don't care, but you just keep going.
And, in my mind, I see myself hopefully being idolized by people later on in my life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I'm going to just keep pushing. Like, this is supposed to inspire me to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So like my family hit them hard. My mom knows them too. And like, so my dad's talking to me on the phone, and he says he feel like he lost a son today and all this stuff. And I kind of look at it like in the grand scheme of things, like, like, there's a reason why they believe me. Like, they've heard the songs too. Like, you know what I mean? If my dad didn't like the music, he'd be like, bro, turn that shit off. Like, go to school. What are you doing? Like, nigga, stop. Like, cut that shit out. That's another thing, though, because my parents would not let me drop out. They would not let me drop out of school. They wouldn't.
And you went to Pierce, right?
I went to Pierce, and I actually transferred back here to AV. I moved away from the mic. I actually transferred back here to AVC, and then I finished, and I got my associates in communications.
Fuck yeah, man.
So
that's
they
fucking
were-
awesome.
Hey, you do know how rare of a case you are, right?
What do you mean?
Like, not just in the fact that having supportive family, but
that's
family
a
that
blessing.
pushes you, and like the shit that you're explaining. I'm blown away by the fact that you've told us all these different things, the people that you've opened for and your goals and your ambitions and all those different things. But I am really like stuck on the fact that you have such a huge support system in your family.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
But that's fucking nuts.
But it didn't come out of nowhere. Like, bro, I pissed my family off like so bad.
And
like,
that's even bigger is the fact that you've pissed them off, like, and they're still there.
Yeah, because my dad, it came down to, we had one conversation one night. And he was like, honestly, like, we had like a heart to heart. And he said, honestly, man, it's like, I don't believe that, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, I don't believe we've raised you to be the type of person to cross over your family to be successful in this music thing. Basically, that's the premise of the conversation, you know? And I thought about that too, because there's a lot of people that will give anything, like to be where they want to be.
Yeah.
And I just, like, I just try to remind anybody that's at like a local level or just making music in their room, or they're, like they're at that next level, but they're not sure where they're going. Like, you really got to appreciate where you're at.
Yeah.
Whether that's your parents don't want to hear your shit, turn that shit off, or like whether you have 5 people bumping your shit or just your roommates play your music, like, bro, the fact that people listen to what you have to say, like, I'm like, it's a starting point. And that was a big thing too, because like me and my parents wouldn't talk for long periods of time, and then they'd hear a song. Yeah. And then they'd call me. Like,
that's really cool.
It's just how I operate.
It's like a talking point.
It's always kind of been how I operated, which I've thought at first was sort of a toxic thing, like about myself, like, you know what I mean? Because I'll hold things back from you in a conversation, then I'll drop a song about it later and hope you heard it.
Oh,
like,
shit!
That's just how I am as a person. But I just feel like it's interesting. It makes people listen. It makes people tune in. I'm not like a name dropper in songs or anything like that.
So look out for the Nick and Tub podcast.
Oh yeah,
song.
There's definitely one coming. It's coming. It's already cooking up.
He's like, the second I walked in this bitch.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. This is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I have to pee really badly. Also, again, if you need to use the bathroom at any time, you just get in there
after real quick while Nick's in the room, even if he's not on the mic. So you went to Pierce College and you played volleyball.
Yeah, I played, bro. So
did you know any of the volleyball girls?
You're gonna get me in trouble.
No, I'm asking. Did you know a girl named Rachel Loads?
Yeah. Yes. I love Rachel to death. To death.
Dude,
that's the person. That's like my sister's like best friend from high school.
Dude, that's the chick.
I don't know if you've heard us. We've talked about our friend Rachel who lives in Ukraine right now.
Is that where she? Yeah, I've seen her on the gram. Yeah, that's where she's at. That's who. Like whenever we talk about like our friend Rachel, our third musketeer, she was a legend. Like
that's what we talk about.
She was a setter, bro. Like butter for days. She was so dope. Like she was there my freshman year before I kind of came into like like myself. Like really was going on. I was just learning from like the other guys that had been there before me. Rachel was like team captain of the women's team, if I'm not mistaken. Cold ass set of hands, but Rachel did not play. But I've known her since she was out here because she was like a volleyball legend. Like she was just cold.
Yeah, and bro. Then, that's like one of our closest friends, man. She's dope. So when you were like, I played volleyball at Pierce, I was like, no fucking way.
Like we have like a nickname because like I'm Nick, so my nickname's Nick Tub, and then she's Shell because Rachel Rochelle. So it's Nick Shell Tub is our thing. Like that's just like we're this very closely knit group of friends. So the fact that like so me meeting you today and then her, like that's why I got so excited.
Small
I'm like I sat back down. I'm
really
like, fuck
small
this.
No, bro, I've played with her. Like she's cold.
She is one of the most wonderful people I've ever met.
She's certified great.
Now I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Yeah, now you can go pee.
But yeah, Pierce was interesting just because like that was where like because that's what I looked up. I was doing research from like how to start like local, like a fan base for yourself, that type of stuff. And it said like in this video I was watching, it said something about it's good if you have like a frat or like an athletic team or just like a group of people that like already support you anyways.
Support
group. Shoot your music to them first thing, like that's the first thing you do. So like that was like it for a while, man. I played at Pierce my first year. I didn't do much. I rode the bench. And then my sophomore year, I came back. I was setting. I was team captain. Stuff like it was cool.
Yeah, bro.
It was completely different. But I just had such a drive to do the music still. Like, and my coach knew it.
Hell yeah.
My coach knew it. It's like Rachel and like the other girls. Like I would like that's who I was selling tickets to. Like, oh, you guys want to come see me open? Like, boom, 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 boom.
Dude, that's so fucking cool.
So they would come, but then like it just became a problem after a while because like my coach, like we'd go after practice the night before a game, like. The whole team would come see my show. And so like coach had to like pull me in the office one day and was just like, man, like what's going on? Like you're not focused because there was like freshmen. I was a sophomore at the time. He's like, there's freshmen. They look up to you, man. Like you're the cool rapper guy, man. Like come on, like So,
you got to lead as example.
I'm leading. I'm telling people to live their goddamn dreams.
Volleyball's
great. School's great. But like, I always looked at sports in general. Like, it's gonna come to an end because even some of my most successful, my favorite athletes, they have to retire eventually.
Exactly.
You know, like it's just what it is.
But like the music game, there's no end to it because even if you're done like rapping, you could be producing,
you could be coach, ghostwriting.
Yeah, exactly. There's always another avenue.
Yeah, but sports was so helpful to me, man. Like
I think it's almost essential.
Yeah,
for
that was
people.
pivotal. That was a part of it because like that was a big part of it for me because it's like you learn how to you learn how to lead people. My coach also as being team captain, like we do like these big like we hosted a champion like state at our home gym a couple times, so we'd have to run the thing, and I was in charge of the whole thing. It's like that was my first like experience like event coordinating, and then like when I was done with it, I was like, well, I'm gonna get something out of these 2 years like that I spent running these events and like booking catering services and like making sure there's enough chairs and tables.
Did you ever do ASB in high school?
I didn't, but ASB was like my favorite class to ditch and go to. Like that was the shit. ASB was the shit.
You would have fit perfectly, bro, because you're doing exactly what they do.
Every day after lunch, I remember because I had this math class I didn't need to graduate. I picked it because I didn't need the credit. So I was like, I had like a free tech. I couldn't have no classes. I needed the unit, but I put like a math class
and easy F.
Yeah, essentially, right. So I take this class. And it's like me, literally, I'm the senior, right? And then it's like a typical movie thing. And it's like all like super smart sophomores in this like pre-calc class, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, I don't need this class. I'm very upfront with the teacher. I'm kind of influencing these sophomores to not do their homework as well
shit.
at this point because like I don't give a fuck. And she was like, she said, Mario, why don't you go to lunch? I said, okay, we'll take 2 lunches. And I just go to the ASB room and they were always setting up pep rallies and like, oh, do you want to host this pep rally? Yes, I want to host the pep rally.
You hosted pep rallies?
Yeah.
Dude, bro, that shit's so much fun.
You inspired me to even do that because you were doing that way before your high school.
Are you serious?
Yes. I remember, bro. I don't know why, but our graduation year, school spirit was just crazy.
Yeah,
so
bro.
You could see it everywhere.
I remember we had a rivalry with Highland.
Yeah, it was insane.
Oh my God, I
forgot
about that.
Pillow fight and yeah.
We had our senior year, we had a school spirit rivalry with Highland because we were trying to see who could get like the most school spirit. Like we were both like posted like both schools posting pictures showing how we were like just like the biggest and everything. That was when Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy blew up.
Bro, like,
that was when the pillow fight happened and like I was emceeing rallies. Like
it was crazy. Like it was something to be proud of. Like So that happens in high school. Like remove yourself from that. 2 years later, I'm still doing the music thing, and you're at this weird you're at this weird spot where it's like you're definitely not a high schooler anymore. But you're not really an adult yet either.
You're in a transitional stage of adolescence.
And you're trying to capitalize. But I'm still trying to capitalize music-wise. Like, okay, how can I do this? So I got this idea. At the time, me and my friends, we were just like, let's market to the high schools. Like,
that's smart.
Why not? Like, they're kids. So my little sister still went to Highland at the time. She was actually playing volleyball too. And she was in ASB for a while. And so she would play my music at the pep rallies. Like Breach's music at the Highland pep rallies and
whoa, what the fuck?
Crazy interaction. And it was just insane to me, like to see. Just because like it's crazy. Like if you leave Palmdale for a little bit, people swear you're like on some Hollywood shit. Like 9 times out of 10, I was going to school out in LA. People didn't know that. People didn't know what I'm doing in LA. They just know I'm living in LA. So I'd come back for family holidays and all this stuff, and I'd be around, and people would be like, "Bro, what's up? Like you're fucking famous." And I'm like, no, we're gonna get there. Like, like that. Instagram is a powerful tool. Instagram is a powerful thing. Yeah. It's the thing you hold in your hand, like, can dictate people's perspective of you. So it's powerful. That's why I tried it. I try to make sure I maintain like a realism, on there, because it's so easy to put like this rosy picture of like yourself up there. But
you can portray yourself as whatever you want.
We're definitely all human, and that's why I'm trying to step away from social media altogether, because it adds into like anxieties like from people, and just like
it puts your energy and your cares and your stress
stuff that you don't need to see. Because if you put that phone down for the same 24 hours, I promise you'll have the same day. You'll probably have a better day because you didn't look at your phone.
Yeah,
but it's just geared in us to like pick it up.
Yeah, that shit's addicting as fuck, dude.
It is.
And it's really not good.
I want to actually compliment you because you have like kept up with us and maintained and taken control of conversation very fucking well.
Yeah, you guys are, like I said before, you guys are very intelligent. Like, you know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, but
like,
no,
but like,
that definitely falls into you too.
Yeah, and considering like it's like our podcast, like we're so used to having to like guide the conversation, but you're like, oh, this is where I can take over. I will let you guys know what I have to say.
I'm definitely
love it, bro.
Definitely taking cues from you guys. Yeah. You guys are giving me great things to talk about.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, it's just the fact that like you hold up a very like
strong presence. Like you put yourself in there.
I was going to say a good conversation, but like that was very simple.
That's what it's about, right? Good conversation.
Yeah, it's the entire thing. Like it's the entire reason we do this shit, dude.
Yeah. I mean, we're at 2 hours now.
Dude, I see exactly what you guys are talking about.
This shit flies.
Yeah,
like nothing.
Dude. It's just conversation in general. Like, and this is one of the reasons why I mean, there's really no way to say it without sounding like, oh, our conversations are important. They're not. It's crazy because even with people listening, we've had people tell us, like the last guest that we had was Tess. It was a 4-hour podcast, and we literally had a friend tell us, like, a couple people say that they saw it was 4 hours, and they're like, shit. And then before they knew it was over, they're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
These conversations flow while we're having them, and they fly by. And then when you listen to them, they fly by. And it's just because it's natural. Nothing's forced. Everything just, there's no like,
you know what I was put onto today, actually? Listening at 1.5.
Really?
But I don't enjoy it as much. I don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm not the same. If you want to
like speed reading,
it is because you miss little cues.
But
and everything.
Listening at one point, like I get through it faster. Like right. But it doesn't flow as much. The
and like I get that people need to do it. That's totally fine, especially if like, okay, there's so much goddamn content in this world to consume.
Yeah,
music, podcasts, YouTube videos, movies, TV shows. It just fucking goes on and on and on. So it's really hard, and that's why like 1.5 is great, but I've tried it. You're right. At least for me and you can't enjoy it as much, dude.
Yeah, no. But if you're trying to like, I was studying. I was like, I'm gonna come here prepared. I'm gonna pay my respects, man. Because like I said,
dude, you absolutely like this was dope. Like you definitely killed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, seriously. Like I went into this with like kind of no idea how it was gonna go. I was just like, I fucking love Marlo.
Bro, I love you too. I love both you guys.
Dude,
seriously.
Thank you. Love you too.
And I was like, I know like this shit's gonna like, I know it has so much potential to just go right.
Mm-hmm.
And so like threw the mic up and we just fucking hit it. And like we literally went into this with like this is the longest conversation we've ever had. Our conversations are just like highs and goodbyes most of the time. Mm-hmm. But I could tell from your social media, what you do and the person you hold yourself to be, like that you're a good person.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
This is your first time ever interacting with Nick. Ever.
Yeah.
Like you met him as he walked into your door to your home.
Yeah.
And and which in itself takes trust because like he's only going off of my word, just going, yeah, he's a good guy, but that's it. And then he's like, all right, invite him into my home where I live.
Yeah. And does that sort of take precedence when it comes to like you guys making the list of who's next and everything like that?
To an extent, yes. If neither of us know them, then I'm sorry, but you're not coming into my home because until I get like a private space,
that makes complete sense.
Where like it isn't my home.
Yeah. If one of us can vouch, then you're good. But if not, then
like it makes it tough.
If it's a stranger, I'm gonna have to do my studying of like who knows this person. How do we know them?
How do you vouch for them without?
How can you vouch for them? Do I trust your opinion?
Yeah, but like we brought up Rachel and anyone else that we all like mutually know. I'm sure there's more people that we but that's people that were close. Like, bro, I was like, that's not just like another volleyball guy. Like Rachel, like, bro, Rachel was a legend at my high school. Like before, like, I remember watching her like play varsity volleyball.
She's a fucking monster, man.
Yeah, total beast.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like it's just fucking like this turned out awesome. It turned out great. It turned out better than my expectations, even though I pretty much had none. It was just like I had a pretty good idea of how I was going to go.
I actually really enjoyed going into it blind.
Yeah.
Like it was way better for me because like you said, like we didn't know each other. And then we leave now knowing each other a little bit more and just being able to like appreciate one another. And it just feels good. It feels really good.
And I think stuff like this, although it's like, it's our creative project and we love like supporting our friends and them supporting us and everything like that. Past the content, when just looking at the experience of making this, you bond with the person that you sit and talk to.
Yeah, like, this is unreal.
Yeah. And to think that like you and I have now bonded and you guys have bonded better over the course of this conversation, then we have bonded with a lot of people we've known for years that we just have never sat down and talked to.
Weird.
And like, you could be like if someone brings up Marlo now to you, you'd be like, oh my God, I fucking love that guy. Like, we sat down, had this awesome ass conversation. I came into a blind and I met this super awesome dude. And then you have like more to go off of, more that you know about him and more to say about him than you would of people that you've known since high school.
Right. And I mean, this is just an excuse to have a conversation because it is recording.
But you definitely could have the same conversation.
Exactly. And that's
that's
one point that I thought you were going to go into, but now I can. Is just like, I want to stress the fact too, just not only us sitting at the table, but to anybody listening, is just like, you can do these things in normal life. You just have to put your fucking phone down. You have to put other things down. Stop being distracted. Just have a goddamn conversation.
And break past that simple, easy small talk. You have to just like kind of go, rather than saying like, oh, this is what's going on nowadays. This is how I feel. This is my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Then you ask the question of, how do you feel about that? Or why do you think that works that way? And you just kind of bust through that top layer of ice.
You ever get in the elevator with someone and then you just ask them, like, anyone, it could be an old lady, it could be a young child, hopefully not a child, don't talk to children in an elevator, but like, you know, it could be anyone.
Don't talk to 15-year-old girls in the mall.
You just ask them like, you know, like a really like a hard-hitting question. Like, there's this video I'm pretty sure I've seen on YouTube. It's like, you know, like, get away from icebreakers. It's like, you ask someone like, if this was your last 24 hours, well, how would you spend it? And who would you spend it with? And like, you know, do you have any regrets? And like, seriously, like, don't ask me about the weather. We both know what the weather's like.
But at the same time, I don't know if I'd be okay with it. Oh, I would.
That's the thing.
I would
That's the
personally,
thing, because it's
actually.
like, wait, what? Like,
Well, and that's where we also have to take into consideration of the fact that like, we know how to have these conversations. Tub and I do. Clearly, you do. You're able to just keep up with the conversation, period. But some people don't have those. What I would suggest, because going into this, my thing was like, I want to know who you are. So I asked you questions, right? And got to know what your name is. And then you started talking about taking L's. And then you go from Mario to Marlo. And then it's like, okay, so why do you think you take L's? And then it just keeps expanding. And you start asking questions until eventually it's this fucking ever-flowing conversation.
It's effortless.
Is effortless.
yeah, your questions definitely led me.
Yeah, and that's literally all it is just be interested in the person that you're talking to. And you can have these conversations anywhere.
Yeah. You could just pique the interest and let it flow. And then you realize you go from, I'll tell you right now, and I'd love to bring this up for anyone that's been a guest on here, for you personally, Nick, me personally, and you too, Marlo, because you're going to realize it once you listen back on this.
I can't wait.
Dude, it's so much. Give it a couple days.
Yeah.
The conversation, well, he has to. I mean, we're recording this now.
Right.
And we drop it on Thursday.
Yeah.
But you realize this, and Tess brought this up to me after. I believe Francisco brought this up to me too, is once you get into this conversation flow, and it goes from what should we talk about to I have so much to talk about.
Right.
And then you go back and listen to it again and you hear something that you said and then you remember what you wanted to say after but never got to say. Like stuff that you were like, oh, I was going to bring that up, or oh, I left that detail out. You realize there was so much shit you left out and it was still a good conversation, but you're going to listen back and you'll be like, fuck. At that point, I was planning on bringing this up, but conversation went this way, or a tangent hit right before I was going to hit this
and
point.
Then you kind of forget, and you just go,
and so like you sit there and you go, damn, this conversation turned out well. And if I had to sit down and talk for another 2 hours, I would still be able to go off of so much more.
Honestly, this went so well. I'm hoping that this isn't our last conversation.
No,
with
the mics or without the mics.
No, because this is the thing that we always tell people, and I wanted to stress this point. I'm going to continue to stress this point in future podcasts. Is when we tell people like we want to have you back on. It may take a long fucking time.
Oh yeah.
But we want to have you back on.
That's the beauty. I feel like the beauty of coming back on is going to be incredible, especially for the guests you guys have had so far.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's something that we look forward to day in and day out.
Like it would be cool as shit to have you and Zoid is his name.
Yeah,
I think it would. I think that would be cool to fucking have both of you on at the same time, if not just him.
Everything happens in its time.
Yeah,
we would definitely work it out.
Yeah, man, and like at the same time as I have so many like people that I'm excited for to bring on and tell their stories. I'm also like impatiently waiting for when we can start bringing people back.
I know, right? I know. It's one of those things where it's a catch-22.
Perfect. Yeah, it is
22.
And it's just like I really want to bring these people back because they did so good, and at the same time, like I can't wait to have X, Y, and Z on.
Yeah.
And so
I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. But yeah, it's just like you're constantly going like regardless to any of it, this fucking podcast, man. I literally, it's one of the, if not the top, but definitely one of the like highlights of my week every fucking week.
Yeah.
I literally cannot wait for usually Tuesday when we record,
Yeah.
and then whenever we record for the Monday episode, which has been a lot of different days. But like, it's something I look forward to every fucking day.
Yeah. No, it's a really good fucking time.
And this may change down the line. I hope it never does.
What?
But what I'm about to say.
I thought you were about to say that. I was
No.
don't you dare.
No. What I'm saying is like, it's not hard to maintain for me. Like, it's like when it comes to like my personal motivation to do it.
Oh, well,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not talking about like the technicalities and the physical stuff we
Yeah.
have to do. That's fucking.
I'm talking about
effort.
when it comes down to maintaining, I'm talking about the technicalities.
No, and that takes fucking effort, and
Yeah.
that's where the hard work comes in, and it separates boys from men.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your personal fire under your butt, like the personal motivation and passion that you need,
Yeah.
it's so easy when you love it.
Yeah.
It's just like Marlo said, it's fucking butter.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you rather than go, okay, I need to get this done and treat it as an assignment, you treat it as your weekend.
Right.
When it's not your fucking weekend. It's the fucking best thing ever. And like, dude, to have that, it's just like, it literally adds a sense of purpose and fulfillment to life.
Yeah.
And it's all over a dumb little podcast. Like it's fucking great.
That's one thing that I keep coming back to is just talking about this as like a
Project.
yeah, because I constantly have this battle with myself of it being like a project or like a creative project, and it's just a battle with myself of thinking like, yeah, but I have these conversations all the time. I have conversations.
It's like a passion. I don't know.
Right.
Like
No, well, and that's where I think like I don't even know how to describe this. I don't want to downplay it by any means, but because it's just so natural and so easy to do, at least for me and you and people that we've had on so far, it doesn't like it's so easy that it doesn't feel like a task.
it's kind of cheating.
Yeah,
Because of how
yeah.
like much we like it and how the simplicity is of it. Like it's so
Just talking
fucking
about
great.
the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's all the other things that go into it. You know, like besides this part, this is like you know,
this is the good part.
recording's
This is the
fun.
icing.
Recording's fun.
It's
Don't get me wrong.
very
yeah.
fucking fun,
Recording,
dude.
you know, recording's very fun, but it's like it's everything else. You know,
The setup, the breakdown, the editing,
packaging,
the planning, the pre-planning.
everything that goes into it. Yeah, that's what makes it a task. I feel like.
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah,
where
I'm glad you guys are having fun with this part because if this part felt like work, I don't know.
Oh,
it would fall off.
yeah.
This is literally
Yeah.
like 95% of the fucking work is talking. So it's like if we didn't enjoy this, like, and I highly doubt we'll ever have a lack of enjoyment from this because we just liked having these conversations in general. I don't think it's going to die off.
Yeah. And like, dude, we keep getting so fucking like blown away by like just like the little growth that we get
Yeah.
from like the
Oh, we
podcast.
enjoy, dude. If there's one more extra listener, we're like, oh,
Yeah, but that's the thing. That
we
understand the only reason that growth is even possible is because what you said about maintaining.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
you weren't maintaining and you weren't putting out content at,
Yeah.
you know, at a rate that people could track, you know, it wouldn't grow.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
be consistent and trustworthy.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Like we got I think a Twitter follower today, just one. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like 130. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so fucking cool. And like, what was it in the course of a week, 2 weeks that we doubled?
Yeah.
But you guys
listeners?
just started the Twitter page too, right?
We started at the
We
same
started
time we
all
started
this about a month ago, a little over a month ago.
130 is not bad for
month and a half, 2 months
like-
almost.
I'm not even, I wouldn't say close to 2 months.
Well, if you think the first 3 episodes were 1 a week, and then after that, it's been 2 a week, so that's 7.
Yeah. But I do have to say, like, yeah, the most beautiful thing about the entire podcast has to be just the number of people the number of interesting people that you guys can sit down and do this with without even reaching outside of your circle of close friends.
Dude, there's so, like I
Yeah.
said
That's
before
the
in
impressive
previous
part.
episodes, like
Yeah.
You know?
there's so many gems out here of people.
Yeah.
There's so many good people out here. And it's been a month and 10 days. It's been like a little over a month and a week.
Wow.
Happy
Weird.
month and 10
We
days.
started March, our first
Gentlemen.
episode dropped March
Thank you.
20th.
Yes.
What'd you say?
He said happy, month and 10 day anniversary.
Dates are important.
But like it's we went from 101 listeners, which was like like 2 weeks ago.
Two.
The last time we saw was 275 listeners. And granted, like I think a lot of that comes from Tessa's episode.
Yeah.
And so like I don't expect that to like
and
maintain.
granted, because the thing that we go through is
it will. Because the people that really like Tessa's are going to tune back in.
The reason why, and I'm about to say, like, I don't doubt that it will get more, is the confidence in myself, the confidence in our dynamic, and the confidence in the fact that neither of us are going to let it fall off.
Yeah, and the confidence in the quality we produce.
Yeah, and honestly,
I won't let you guys fall off. I will bug you. If there's a late episode, I'll be on the Twitter. I'll be on the Twitter
and
page.
That's the thing is, like, even if we have a late episode, we're definitely going to be like, hey guys, this blah blah blah. We're going to explain it.
Double up.
But the thing is, like, okay, for example, in a certain amount of time, I'm going to be visiting a certain state for a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. And in that time, I'm going to be recording like 3 or 4 podcasts before I leave. Like was it last week? I think last week we recorded 3 podcasts in about 4 days because we had to. There was no other way around it.
Our schedule was like, okay, you have Thursday and then that's it to record for Monday.
Yeah, I think it was like a record Wednesday for Thursday, record, I don't know. It was a small amount of days.
It was like record
3 in a week.
It was like recorded Sunday for Monday, record Wednesday for Thursday, and record Thursday for next Monday.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it was like a 4 or 5 day period.
We had to crunch
3.
it out,
and we had like very small amounts of time. Episode 10 was an hour because that was literally the only hour that we had free. Both of us had free to get any content done, and we did. We did it perfectly. We got to the movie on time. It was fucking great.
Isn't that nice? Okay, that's the podcast I heard then right before you guys took off.
Dude, it was cool because we got to cram all that in. And that's what I'm saying is like the determination mixed in with like the maintain, like it's not going to stop.
That mixes to make my favorite thing about that specific podcast. He specifically mentioned how you're short on time. Right, and this might be a little, a little lagging. No, that was one of my favorites. Like, cause it's an hour just to sit down and listen to you guys. And what are you guys going to talk about when it's just you two in a room? I was thoroughly entertained the entire time too. But that's why I cannot state it enough. Like, I hope this is at least my 3rd time saying it. Like, what you guys are doing here is amazing. Like, and it's the start of something that's going to grow into something. That you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can't say it because it's your vision. So but that's what we hope. But dude. I know it's big.
And like the entire thing is like it's like the fucking saying like like if we eat, everybody eats type shit.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing. Like
that's
we
so much
bring everyone with us. Like that. Like if this shit like turns into what we like envision it to turn into, which like if we put in the work and we keep on it and put in the time, like it'll get there. We're gonna like put on like the people that we see these creative projects that like deserve the exposure that they deserve because of like the time, the effort, the quality.
Right. Like we've already, and I'm not going to trash the person, not going to trash the message, not even going to really talk about in detail what was brought up. But we were recently hit up by somebody that was just like, hey, haven't talked to you in, I don't know, it's been like 8 or 10 years since I've even seen the person. They're like, how can I get on? And I'm like, not going to reply.
See, that's
not going to reply.
And I'm glad, it's like, I'm like, you picked that up so quick. See, I feel like a lot of times you have to learn that, like, to explain. Like, first time you're like, oh, get on, and like, get on, and then like you have to learn later, like, oh, that wasn't the right.
Or move. You like feel bad saying no, so you'd rather say yes, and it turns out awful because you didn't.
But it's just like there's a very big difference, and this was something I was going to bring up last podcast, but we didn't have time.
Were you and that person? Not that it mattered. You guys are left on like bad terms.
No, but it was just the fact of just like you
this is the first thing you say to me after
in 10 years, 8 or 10 years. It's
and
like
you'll get that.
Like, is it just because you see something's doing fairly well? And I'm not even saying like, oh, we're doing the greatest so people want to hop on. It's the fact of like, you see this project, you see, let's just call it 80 people are listening. So you want 80 people's attention. And it wasn't, hey man, I have a really cool story. I'm really interested to see if you guys, it was,
what can I do?
It was literally these 3 messages. It was, hey Nick, long time no talk. I want to be on a podcast. How can I do that?
Okay. So my question to you guys is, what do you do later on in the future when you're offered 5 figures to put someone on? And it's someone neither of you know, you don't really care for. And
it depends on how they go about it, because I have integrity. I have.
Yeah, no, it's the same way because when you look at this.
We have integrity. Yeah. It's our podcast.
Yeah. And like when you look at this, like, and you see like the potential that we see in it, and you go, okay, like, you're offering us a few grand to put you on. Is our podcast worth a few grand? Is that what we're getting?
Is that the cap?
Is that the buyout for us? Is that what, if we put you on, we're going to tank because we put you
like
on.
I already
and I would say no.
I told Tub in the very beginning of this entire thing that if we get an offer to be specifically on a certain platform and no other platforms, I'm not taking it. I don't care.
You'd rather keep it yourself.
I'd much rather have it on multiple platforms. I'd much rather have it
instead of
open.
just providing
like if Apple reaches out to
like
us.
for the next
and
let's just say if somebody
release it through that one streaming service.
if somebody straight up offered us like for the next 10 episodes, this is what you have to talk about. No,
no,
you're not. You're not guiding my episode.
But it's a check.
I don't care.
Fuck a check, dude. You could get a check later.
Yeah, that's how you.
But it's a check.
No, that's the thing. Like
you
that's
sold
what
a
I'm saying
song when you were 18.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
No, I get that.
I like it.
I do too. This is actually
because that makes us prove that we have good reason behind it.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing to do.
And I wasn't going for your neck in this next part.
You came for the neck. It's full sin. It was full sin. Fuck yeah.
You sold the song for $100 when you were 18.
Yeah.
And you already said right after that, you were like, yeah, that wasn't a smart decision.
But like this was my first time like publicly ever even admitting that. Like literally like, oh my God. Like my dad's gonna hear this and be like, I told you.
I told you.
Like,
but that's okay. But that's my point of just like, you're not going to change. Okay. We have a specific already set of listeners that like what we talk about.
So why would you change it?
Why would I change it? For money.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna screw over the people that enjoy the things that I'm doing just for a check. I'm not doing
the thing. Like if we were doing this for a check, then yeah.
Yeah, but
that's not why we're doing this. Like we said in like the first fucking episode, we don't care if one person listens. We don't care if a million people listen. We don't care if nobody listens. We're doing this because we love it.
It's those little gems right there. Because I feel like I don't know. I feel like more people should listen. You know?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Like you hear something like that, and immediately you think like, do you think to your passion?
Yeah.
Like, what would I do even if money were not a thing on this planet?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
How would you spend your time?
How would you spend your time?
Because time is the most valuable.
You know?
And
that's the thing. Like, that's which, and this is kind of like, I don't know, I have to be careful when I say things like this, but like, just, that's the thing. You know, like, people are giving you guys something you can't put a dollar amount on their time. Right. They're listening to your thoughts, what you have to say, what you think about things. And that's a review. You can't give someone your time and take it back. Right. There's no refund. You know?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Like there's attention.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Because I've been trying to figure out how to put, like when people are like, oh, I listened to this. I'm like, dude.
You spent something valuable
You
here.
literally, like you gave part of your life to listen to something that we put together.
A little sliver of your time spent on planet Earth in this reality, in this existence.
That's what helps me appreciate it. Because like I don't know about you guys, but like anxiety seems to be a thing with people in our age demographic. Like, you know, it's usually because of social media. But like a lot of times entrepreneurs specifically, or like, you know, when you're in business for yourself, you feel like you're on your own ass. Like, I'm not doing enough. What am I doing today? I'm not in the studio today. I'm not shooting a video today. I'm not recording today. I'm not I'm not in LA today, so I'm not working. But no, like that, like there's so much that goes into it. Like, you know, I feel like it's so like important to give yourself like that. Like that before when you came in, like, you know, we didn't just hop right to, you know, you came in, you took a deep breath, you relax, like, you know, you calm down a little bit. It's just like, there's something about that. Like, because I have certain friends that are like, if you're not grinding 24/7, you're not grinding. And I have other friends that are just like, bro, if you're not taking care of yourself, there's no point in grinding. There's no point in grinding.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're losing your mental health along the way.
I'm on the other side with that second one. It's just like, you come first. Your health comes first. Your sanity comes first.
Because if you get to where you want it to be, but your mental capacity is like suffering because of it,
just destroyed.
Why are you why do you want to be there? And that's the biggest thing. Like I'll tell my friends like, something for my dad. So I'm like, don't trade your family for a Grammy or something like that. Like,
I like that. I like that. That's fucking dope.
Because like you can get that. And then you can go party with these people like that are with you, your manager, your agent, you know, your booking agent, whatever you have, your distributors, all that good stuff. You can go party with them. But like, you know, you go home and like, they don't even want that shit on their fucking, like, they don't even want that shit in their trophy case. Like,
yeah.
You know, because like, that's been my big thing, trying to balance, especially with Mother's Day coming up, trying to balance, I'm giving my all to this music. Yes, every day I'm going to make sure I'm doing something like to push myself towards my goal, but then not leaving out the family aspect. Like, you know, I have 3 sisters. Like, you know, I'm the only guy. Like, I'm the only brother that this family has. So I can't just forget about that aspect of myself because I'm so obsessed with the music. Like, you know, you and your brother. Yeah. But like, you know, it's just, it goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like you point out when it comes to like your own personal like devotion to like your time to yourself, like your relaxation and everything. It's like you're supposed to be like trying to like push yourself on all cylinders,
every day,
full blast and everything. But like if you don't recharge your battery, you have no juice left to push.
It's the same thing. Yeah, it goes both ways because it's like no one's gonna tell you to get the fuck out of bed and you need to do this today for your goal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, no one's, I mean, maybe a few people, but no one's going to tell you like, yo, bro, you're kind of pushing it. I can tell you're not really that focused right now. You should probably go take a nap.
Yeah.
Very few and far between.
You know, you might have those few people that really are looking out for you.
There are sometimes, I do that for people. I do that for my boss.
Really?
All day long, especially with this most fucking insane schedule or the most insane month that we've ever had, where I'm just like, yo, where's your personal health? How are you doing with your family? Like, how are you doing outside of work? And if you're not doing well, what steps do we have to take in order to get you back on your feet? Because, dude, we were recording the other day, and he was holding a Ronin S. It's a gimbal for the camera. And he had to keep putting it on the ground and like stretching his forearm because he was starting to get it's carpal tunnel.
Okay.
It's carpal tunnel, but for photographers, sometimes it'll get so bad that you will get stuck.
Because you're holding that rig.
And and you're holding that rig and your muscles. It's like what is it called? Atrophy, something.
Muscular atrophy.
Atrophy.
Yeah.
So his muscles are just like fucking locking up, dude, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Like cramping.
It's like. But that applies to anything. That applies to your mental. That applies to your physical. That applies to just fucking, dude, being able to take a breath in between like things that you're doing, you know, whether that's a 30-minute sit down and actually enjoying your lunch or whatever the fuck, you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
There are sometimes that 24-hour grind.
It's not realistic.
No, it's
not.
And
the thing is, it's like if you,
it's not realistic. But then I'm sure we can all name one person that still does it.
100%.
Yeah, but like
their fucking bodies probably hurt.
So they're falling apart. And so like the thing is, it's like if you create your best content when you're truly being yourself, but if you're so out of your health that you're not yourself, then who's creating the content?
Right.
That's a good question.
That's a really good point.
Damn.
Deep as shit, Tug. I like how you just kept staring at us.
Winter chicken dinner. Okay. That was it.
Goddamn.
That was the quotable. That's the one. That's the shirt for this.
That's the shirt. But yeah, because it's like, you know, you hit points where you're either in an emotional state or just an overall health state where you're almost like unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Where you're just like I can't even find it in myself to be myself.
Yeah.
And so if you're letting that state be in play when you're out there doing what you're supposed to, like working on your future, you're putting it at risk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's where, when it comes down to like working extremely hard days and like just going, especially with like, I did like a 10-day run that I talk about a lot with my boss, where it was just like, wake up at fucking 6 or 8 in the morning.
Run?
No.
Oh, sorry. I guess I should have clarified. Like a 10-day streak of days that we had to work. And it was 10 days straight of either waking up at 6 or 8 a.m. In between those times, and working from the moment you wake up until about 9 to 11 p.m. About 10 to 1 a.m. the next day. And it was literally 10 days straight of that. And the only way that I survived, because on day 10, I literally got out of bed and I made a joke about this on one of the podcasts. It felt, if there was a mouth for my body, my body would have been like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
lay down.
I got up and I literally sat right back down on my bed because I needed to like prepare myself to get out of bed. So what I was doing with myself, and this is where I try to stress to people, and it's like a lesson that if I could teach anybody one thing about like grinding fucking hard for X amount of days straight, is having self-reflection, just reflection in general.
On how those days went.
Talking to yourself like kindly. I've stressed that multiple times, but just reflection on like, okay, I ate today. You know, I did these things. I'm working hard for this reason. I'm proud of the work that I'm doing. Like,
if you can check the box. If you can check the box.
Well, that's a big thing, bro. That's speaking to yourself in a positive connotation is such a big thing. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't get it because, I mean, especially out here, I don't run into it as often. I have friends that live in Los Angeles, Woodland Hills, the Valley, you know, Granada, whatever it is. Their mental is a little bit different. I have a lot of friends out here. They're working normal jobs. They're going to school. They're doing the whole nine, you know, whatever it is. And it just seems like the likelihood of like, it just seems like the AV in general wants to be sort of depressed. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that. You can
it's kind of like a woe is me thing.
You can take care of yourself. You can, you know, you can be just as happy as you would be on the beach in Malibu that you're watching on Instagram all the time, as you can be waking up in this desert.
Because there are people unhappy out there.
We have a friend that just reached out saying that said person, I'm not going to say name or even sex, but said person is surrounded by multiple people that are just negative all the time. And said person catches themselves waking up in the morning
feeling negative.
Yeah. And it's just like, dude, you have to not only be your own person, but you got to reflect on just trying to be positive. I stress that to my boss. I'm just like, hey, like, and I use him as an example because I see this dude 5 to 6 days a week.
Yeah, you see him at different stages.
Like I'm his only employee that goes out with him to do these jobs. The other employee is our manager, so she does all the stuff behind the computer and whatnot, planning stuff. So like I'm constantly stressing to him of just like, hey, maintain your happiness, be proud of your work, and maintain having like a natural healthy way of going about things, you know, especially, and I tell people this, like, don't turn to medicine if you don't need to, like, you know, just try to find healthier ways to maintain your body.
What does it say? Like, one of the boxes that I didn't realize is so important to check until I started working 10-hour shifts is if you can say that you knocked out a full 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
Nobody does. I haven't. I haven't. Besides, like on a weekend, in so long, and I did not realize how fucking important it was until I missed it. Until it was gone.
Not only
So
that,
I remember though when I did run into you at Wingstop, you said you started a new job, and that schedule was kicking your ass. Like, you know, I remember specifically.
I was working 60-hour work weeks then.
Yeah, that's incredible. Props to you. 60 hours.
Dude, shit.
He was working with me. We were coworkers at the time.
Oh,
dude, that shit was.
I worked 40, and I do like a little bit of extra like overtime on the weekends, and I thought I was Superman. So like 60.
Yeah, no, we would do 12-hour shifts 5 days a week.
Because our normal schedule was 410s, which was Monday through Thursday, 6 to 4:30.
Yeah,
and then they were like, we need you to do 512s, which was.
Is that OT?
5.
Yeah, everything over 40 was OT. Yeah. So the checks were nice, but it was still like. Ouch.
Dead.
Yeah. And that's when it's important too. Like when you can literally clock, you know, when you're working like, you know, 9 to 5, when you can clock how much money you're going to make for your time, you know what I mean? That's when I really started looking at it like different. Like, you know, when you start doing the math, because I've had bosses that jip me on payment, and then they'd come through on food, and they like spot me on food for the week or something like that. I had bosses that paid me so much more than they should have, and they took care of my hotels and everything like that. But the work was ridiculous. Like the work was like some grown man shit, like some really grown man shit. So it's just like about finding that balance. But at the end of the day, it was always, no matter how fat the check was, no matter how tired I was at the end of the week, it was always like I busted my ass X amount of hours for someone else, for someone else's company, for someone else's, like, you know, dream,
to help build their empire,
vision. Yeah. But I learned this actually from, you know, someone that all three of us know very well. Like, it's not about where you're getting your money. It's about how you're making that money work for you. And like since then, it's been so much easier to you know, like work like a regular job, and then like, you know, on the weekends, like go to the studio or make sure you're like promoting an event or something, just to get some sort of income. Because sometimes I'm making more money from like my regular job than I am making from, say, like music, like certain months. But it just depends. But summer's coming up. Like I said, you know, I'm planning like the birthday show. Yeah. So things usually go crazy in the summer. People have more time. There's more expendable income out there and things like that. But I'm always understanding of like my friends not being able to make it because of work. Because like, if I were to give you shit for not being able to come to my show because you have work, that's like you giving me shit for having a show and not being able to be wherever you need me to be.
Right. A specific time that works for them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So your show, June 14th, right?
June 14th. That's my birthday. That's the day a star was born, 1997.
The day a star was born.
My mama had a C-section. I was very tiny. It was preemie. It's okay.
Holy fuck, you're a preemie and you're 6. Are you 6'5"? I keep saying 6'5".
I'm saying, man? Like, things don't add up. But everything happens for a reason.
Are you 6'5"?
What's your height?
6'4". I would say 6'4", but I'm glad that you gave me 6'5".
Okay, I'll do 6'5", because when when you were down below walking up the stairs, I was like, oh, okay, he's taller. And then you got to my front door and I was like, fuck, why do I have to look up? Like, this motherfucking pig. I'm 6'1". I don't want to look up.
I wish I was shorter though, because like you miss out on all the fun like rapper things that short people get to do, like crowd surfing and like.
You could go I went crowd surfing.
Bro, when you go to the hardcore shows that we go to.
Oh, yeah. Hardcore definitely.
Motherfuckers are 250 pounds going, put me up, bro, put me up. I'm putting you up. I'm rolling you over.
Dropping you.
250 pounds, 4'11".
Bro, we were
literally though.
We were 4'11". We were at a show this last weekend, and my brother, who's like 6 foot, right around,
Oh, damn,
and
so
like
too.
a solid like 180 probably. He's a
Hefty.
solid motherfucker.
Hefty.
Yeah, he handed me all his stuff and he's like, I'm gonna go up. And we were like, okay,
No,
How long did that
fuck you.
last?
And we
How long
put
did
him
that
up
last?
and we chucked him and he landed
Nope.
on his back.
That's the worst. But like that's my worst fear. Like yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's my worst fear.
speaking- Speaking of crowd surfing, one of the actually the first show I ever went to with Rachel Loads was Warped Tour. This was the year I think before I went with you, Rachel,
Yeah.
and Tub, or you, me, whatever. Couldn't say that correctly. And she was Pierce the Veil was out, and that's like one of her favorite fucking bands. And she was just like fucking fangirling, losing her goddamn mind. And I was just like, just go. And she's like, what? And I was like, go crowd surfing. She's like, I've never. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. Give me your shit. She's like, no, I'm not gonna. I was like, give me your goddamn shit. So I get all of her stuff and I tap all these people around us, and I was like, she's going up, and they're like, fuck yeah, she is. And they just chucked her. And I remember as she was going away, she was like, fuck yeah.
That's awesome.
It's such a good time, dude.
Yeah. My goal is to have my first crowd surf to go successfully, but if not,
They don't
I just
always
feel
end
like
that great.
Yeah, I'm too tall for that. Especially because as I got more into the rapping thing, I got taller.
Go to a hardcore
like,
show with us. We'll
I'm
sign
Yeah,
with
bro, we'll
it,
take you
bro.
to some
Just shoot the
shit.
invite. I'm there. Like that's the thing. Like there's no cap on my music listening capacity.
that's
Me and
good.
Zoe were
Hell
trying to
yeah.
swing Stagecoach this weekend, but that didn't.
Oh my god,
That'd be so much fun.
that's where I draw the line.
You see what I'm saying? Like we don't care.
suck
Especially
dick.
because this year we were trying to see Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, you're telling me? Yeah.
You would have seen
Stagecoach?
Diplo too.
Yeah, Billy Ray brought him out.
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
shit. Okay, that's actually kind of
Yeah.
dope.
Neens was there, of course.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Did you see Diplo's ridiculous ass outfit?
No, I didn't. But Diplo at Stagecoach. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I don't
Diplo
understand
at
it.
Stagecoach.
I didn't even know he was there.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, that was like a huge announcement on his
Yeah.
page, and like people were talking about it. Like, why the fuck is he going to Stagecoach?
Why? But that,
And-
that brought a lot of
and
people.
dude, I saw these videos and I was like, oh, it went off.
What did he have on? I didn't see his outfit. No.
He fucking wearing this terrible. It was like a imagine a cowboy outfit, but American flag colors, but it was like leather. And then his
Oh, hell
shoes were
yeah.
like an American
Some, like,
flag leather.
Hicktown
Dude, it looks so
USA
bad.
shit.
So fucking bad. But apparently the show popped off heavy.
Yeah,
That's
you see what I'm
dope.
saying, like, about attention. I mean, Diplo already has hella people. Like,
Yeah.
attention. But like, you see what I'm saying, like, about attention.
Oh, well, imagine what he did at a country show. You know how many more listeners he has now?
Yeah,
Dude,
Yeah, man.
he
That's
brought
insane.
in that shit huge.
Especially
yeah.
hopping in
Diplo's
when-
insane.
when
Yeah,
masses.
going back to like the E40 Diplo show, I sold a decent amount of tickets because of E40. Like
Yeah.
like older people and like just my homies, I would have came regardless. But a lot of the tickets were sold because I was at Pierce. A lot of my teammates and just people I'd met in college were big on raving and all that. So like they heard I was opening for Diplo. They were like, holy, like, oh shit, you rap. Because like especially being in like the Valley and like LA, like everyone raps.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
raps out here. It's not that hard, to hop on a mic and rap.
Yeah.
So like when I told people I was doing Diplo, they were like, "Oh shit, like, I'll buy that ticket." So a lot of my friends bought the ticket for Diplo, so they came late and then like they just see the Diplo set. But we finished our set and we come out and we say hi to everybody. Diplo starts playing. I'm not a huge EDM fan. Like it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was some pretty like he came out to some really hard music and I was like, bro, it's so loud in here. This is before I ever went to a rave, festival, anything. I was like, bro, it's so loud in here. And they're like, bro, it's just getting started. And they're like, they loved it. Like they loved Diplo. And those same guys took me to my first rave. I went to Escape when I was 18. Yeah, I went to Escape when I was 18. I didn't do any like crazy drugs. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't do anything. I just went because I was on the whole student athlete thing at the time. So I went to that, kind of got the experience, and I was like, yeah, raves aren't really like for me. But I do want to do Coachella next year, no matter what.
Coachella's pretty fucking cool.
Still haven't been,
Oh yeah, me neither.
but that's a goal. I want to either be, you guys have seen the Coachella flyers. You guys see those little names at the bottom of those.
Yeah.
You want to be there?
Just need one slot. That's
Just
all.
one
slot.
Just need one slot because like after that, you just keep
Yeah.
Moving up the
Oh yeah,
slots.
your
Yeah.
fucking font gets bigger and bigger and bigger
Yeah.
Well,
until
working
you
on
are just the main.
the font.
Yeah, the
But
font.
yeah, working on Hard Summer right now, so that's probably going to be the move for us. Because I feel like it's in like San Bernardino, I believe. Hard
Yeah.
Summer.
Really, yeah.
Like that's close enough that people from Palmdale could like come up and see us.
You're trying to play it hard. Summer.
Yeah, just like a daytime set. Like it's not that.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That would be fucking
That's the-
awesome.
If you get it, please let us know.
I'm most
Hell yeah.
definitely
Like
will.
100% let us know.
For sure. As long as it's not June 14th, right?
Right. And
Gotta go see a comedy.
do you remember if it was June 14th or June 21st for Caleb?
I think it was like I think it was
One of those Fridays. And I think June 14th was.
I think it was 21st.
21st.
Yeah, I think it was in the 20s.
Oh. Guess what we just planned.
Oh, I know. I don't know if it's for sure on that date or not.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But
fucking Vegas banger,
gentlemen, this was fantastic.
That was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any like
Absolutely.
final points you want to touch?
Not really, guys.
No.
I want to thank you guys for having me on, though.
Thank you for being on, dude.
Seriously.
Thank you.
I
Thank you
appreciate it.
for like supporting what we do. Not only that, but like listening to like it and
Always.
like and
Bro,
enjoying
always.
it. And then thank you for coming on, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for creating this. Like this is in its infancy. I do believe, like this is in its infancy, and it's gonna become something amazing.
I
I'm
appreciate
excited to
the
see
support you have
what
behind
you
it,
guys
just
do with
because like I don't ever like just sugarcoating it or blanket statements of just like thanks for the support, but like just hearing the whole you just saying like thank you for starting this. It's like I don't like my
it's very touching. man.
yeah no it feels good. So I appreciate that
You guys
a
are onto
ton.
something amazing. You're two amazing people. I'm very glad to have met, and I can't wait to see where you guys go with this.
Hello, my man. Thank
Dude.
you. So with that,
Oh,
you
I
were
love it.
fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Thank
You
Loved
fucking
having you on.
killed it, bro.
You're a fucking cool ass
Let's do it
person to
again.
talk to.
We're still recording, and I can't wait to listen to it.
Right? So
Bomb drop.
with that, where can people find? That is one thing I keep forgetting to do. Where can people find you?
Marlo from Breach on Twitter, and then Marlo MP3 anywhere else.
Is there any underscores or anything like
No,
that?
just Marlo.
So Marlo from Breach on Twitter.
P3. Oh, that's another. Can I drop this bomb?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
Nowhere else. So I added the MP3 to my name because when you search up Marlo, there's like this other EDM artist, and I was like, oh, that's a buzzkill. So I added the MP3 just so when you search me up on streaming services, it's just me. So the MP3 is my, Mario Patrick, and I'm like, those are my middle initials.
Yeah.
And the 3 is like I'm the third because my dad is the second.
No fucking way.
Shit, that's so
That's fucking amazing,
I'm
bro.
so glad you.
That's the whole, like bomb drop.
That's the dopest shit that you can like fucking put behind that. Like that is so cool.
I was like, I wonder where the 3 is gonna come from. You're like, I'm the third.
Let's go. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. My manager was like, make sure you get that off.
Dude, that's fucking sick.
That's
no,
amazing.
I like that a lot.
I'm glad. Because he liked it too when I told him. 'Cause he had no idea. He had no
Yeah,
idea.
you think MP3? Oh, like
a
you do
sound
music
file,
like it's
yeah.
a sound file. Yeah.
So
Holy
are you
fuck.
gonna go by Marlo MP3?
Oh yeah, that's it now. Like so, Instagram Marlo MP3, all streaming services Marlo MP3, and I'm just working on changing Twitter as well.
Nick's
Yeah,
face. He
I
fucking loves
love
that.
it, dude. It's so sick.
It's gonna be fire.
So, all right, we covered all that.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to go check out his music and all other things that he does, just go check out those pages.
And
Thank you guys.
if you guys do, please let us know that you did and let him know.
I would
we
appreciate
just want to
that.
know. We're
wanna
just
know that-
genuinely
We want
curious.
to know
Yeah.
our reach. We need to know our reach.
Yeah, definitely. It would just be fucking dope.
Yeah.
All right. So that was episode 11, and we appreciate you guys for tuning in.
And you know what's funny, real quick, right before we clap and send it off,
Yeah.
I was DMing Marlo about having him on, and he's like, I don't want to be on just now. He's like, I have my eyes on episode 10 or around there. And he made episode 11.
Yeah, episode 11. It's pretty late.
That's
So
fucking
it fucking
good,
worked
dude.
perfect. All right, boys.
All right. Well,
Send
hold
it
on.
off.
Let me send it off.
Yeah,
So
send
thank
it
you
off.
guys for listening, and we'll be back. I don't know, in like a few days or something like that. All right.
Hell yeah.
Bye.